Hello, and welcome to Sungrand. I'm Jarrell Dulay, the developer of the Silver Falls games. With this short presentation, I'd like to share with you the games that we have announced to launch later this year throughout 2022. Now, you might be wondering, why did we announce so many games exclusively for the 3DS and Wii U eShop when the eShop will be ending sales in March 2023? That's 1 year from now. So the reason why I've done this is because I've been getting contacted by a lot of people expressing demand for more games. This comes after announcing our Wii U exclusive title, White Inside Its Umbra, and after Nintendo announced the future closure of sales on the eShop. People have told me that they are looking forward to White Inside Its Umbra, but they've asked for features that unfortunately cannot be a part of White Inside Its Umbra, and I'm getting messages all day long from people who are asking for more games, and I just want to be able to bring something exciting to these consoles so we can all celebrate the legacy that the Wii U and the 3DS have enjoyed so far. I feel passionately about these consoles. They've had an incredible impact on the gaming industry. So creating these games and launching them on these consoles is my way of celebrating that and sharing excitement with people all around the world. So I hope you enjoy these titles. Now, for the most part, a lot of these titles are games that started development on the 3DS. Some of you who have been supporting Silver Falls for a while might recognize some of these titles. Now, I had previously moved these games over to the Switch, which is the current platform where we can reach a lot more people. And it's a bigger platform in terms of visibility. But it sure is exciting to get new titles on the Wii U and 3DS, isn't it? So that's why I've taken the games away from the Switch and I'm putting them back onto the 3DS and Wii U. I feel that's something that is quite fun and exciting, and it lets me do a few more things creatively with the fun control schemes that are available on these consoles. Now, Nintendo has helped us organize these so that we can launch on the 3DS and Wii U. There is a cutoff period for submitting games for the 3DS and Wii U this year, which means that I have very little time to develop these games, and I have to push very hard in terms of development to get these games submitted and launched on the consoles. But I feel that it's worth it based on the response that I've gotten from people so far. And people have let me know that they are looking forward to more games. So I feel that the effort will be worth it in terms of bringing people something that they can enjoy and be excited about. So let's all enjoy a sip of our hot apple cider and get into the details of our upcoming games. Now then, firstly, I want to let people know that each game in the series will play very differently from each other. They will all offer a unique experience, so there will be no two games that are similar to each other. This helps keep the series fresh, and it makes for an interesting game experience in terms of the Silverfall series as a whole, as it allows greater creative freedom for each game, and that makes it so that the series doesn't ever really feel stale, and I can keep offering fun and exciting experiences. So each game that has been announced will play very differently from each other, and it will offer a unique experience to the console which is being launched on. We've covered a little bit of White Inside Its Umbra before. For the most part, it is a first-person exploration game, and there's a secondary game mode which is quite large. It's an arcade light gun shooter action game with a lot of RPG elements that lean towards collecting and customizing equipment, leveling up your characters, and setting up your skill sets and your custom skills so that you can play particular strategies. You can customize the way that you play through levels, and you get to pick through a wide range of playable characters. That will be 4 players who can each use a Wiimote, and they can all shoot at enemies, while a 5th player uses the gamepad to help reload the guns for the other players, and also uh, use some weapons as well to help support while dealing with the enemies. Now, we've recently posted a screenshot for Gaiden Wii U. I'd like to focus on White Inside Its Umbra for the time being in terms of sharing details, but to let you know more about Gaiden Wii U, this will be an open world adventure survival game with up to 4 players working together. And these players will gather resources. They'll be able to build custom campsites and structures, and you'll be working together to fight off waves of enemies as they attack. Now, the control scheme is based quite heavily on requests from people who have written in. They've been sending direct messages and commenting on videos asking for pro controller support for White Inside Its Umbra. So unfortunately, White Inside Its Umbra has a very unique control scheme, which doesn't work with a pro controller. It won't work on any other consoles, so I thought it would be good to offer a game that people have been asking for. I've been checking for what sort of game people would like to enjoy on the Wii U, and so I've tailored Gaiden specifically to meet what people want on the Wii U. So, do you have one of these? If you've got one of these, it will work with Silver Falls Gaiden on the Wii U. Do you have one of these? This will also work with Silver Falls Gaiden on the Wii U. Do you have one of these? This will also work. I'm working hard so that all controller options will be usable in Silver Falls Gaiden, so whatever you like to do, if you want to turn the Wiimote sideways, then you can. Also, I am trying to incorporate a few other Wii peripherals that connect to the Wiimote, so I won't spoil any details now, but if there is a fun, weird, non-standard peripheral that plugs into the Wiimote, I am working hard to try to incorporate that into the game so you can use those controllers to play Silver Falls Gaiden as well. Let's see here. Next. Guardians and Metal Exterminators for the 3DS. So we've been working on this for a while. Originally, I was going to move this onto the Switch when I saw that there were options for more graphics, more players who can play through the game together. But I thought it'd be fun to bring it back to the 3DS so that people can enjoy that experience. This is quite a simpler, more easygoing game that is meant to be more chill and relaxing, and people can sort of just open the 3DS. They don't have to worry about what point in a story mode that they're playing through. They just pick up a mission and they can enjoy fighting some baddies. Guardians and Metal Exterminators is a mission-based action RPG, and it's focused heavily on collecting new equipment and leveling up a range of playable characters. You'll actually even be able to play as many of the monsters in the Silver Falls series, and they will each have their own set of skills, equipment, and you can customize and level up each of those monsters as well. So you can just enjoy collecting different equipment and building cool custom attack combos, and just enjoy having fun and beating up some baddies. Another 3DS game that we have lined up will be Vicarious Brothers. We did mention this title a while back, and when it seemed like we were going to move this title entirely to be a Switch exclusive, I realized when people were sending messages and letting me know that they did want more exciting 3DS games, I thought it'd be a good idea to bring this game back to the 3DS. So now, I would like to announce that we are bringing Vicarious Brothers to the 3DS. All of our 3DS games that are lined up will be compatible with all 3DS and 2DS models, and I'm working hard to achieve that due to the demand that people have expressed, and they've let me know that they don't have a new 3DS, so I will make sure these games work on all models. Vicarious Brothers is a first-person RPG, and it's set in a spooky mansion with all sorts of scary, creepy monsters. The visual style matches that of the Virtual Boy, and I'm trying to match the style and storytelling and gameplay style of the 90s. So hopefully it feels like an interesting, weird retro 90s game that's a bit quirky and full of fun ideas that we probably won't see in other Silver Falls games. So I hope you enjoy Vicarious Brothers when that launches. Ghoulbusters is one that we announced a very long time ago, and when it seemed that development difficulties with our software that we used to create 3DS games would prevent us from realizing this game and bringing it to the 3DS in a timely manner, we moved the game to the Switch. But again, due to demand, I think it will be worth the effort and the time put in to bring Ghoulbusters back to the 3DS. Ghoulbusters will be a simple side-scrolling action adventure, and it won't have a grand story mode. It won't have huge customizable RPG options like the other Silver Falls titles, but it'll be a fun title that explores a small event that occurs in the 90s in Silver Falls when two boys who have started their own monster hunting club and they have a treehouse and they enjoy sitting up in the mountains and pretending they're fighting monsters. Well, one night monsters actually show up. Will they be ready to take those monsters on? Guess we'll find out in Silver Falls Ghoulbusters. So I hope you look forward to this fun little game coming soon. Now we have a fun surprise announcement, and that's Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS. This game will actually be played vertically. So if you remember DS games that you played by holding the DS like a book, I was hoping to bring an experience like that to the 3DS. So with Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers, this is a battle-based RPG that's played in vertical mode. It doesn't have a big, grand story, but it's more meant as a casual pick-up-and-play title. It'll feature a wide range of Silver Falls characters that you'll likely be familiar with if you've played the other games, and all these characters have access to different skills depending on the day of the week. So if you play the game on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, all of those days, characters that you like, they may not have access to skills that you need, so it's important to change up your team depending on the day of the week. There will also be access to daily skills through which you'll have to fight a very difficult boss battle, and if you're able to defeat that boss battle, high-level elite master skills become available to particular characters. So there's always a reason to try new characters, and you'll always be wanting to try to collect a wide range of ever stronger equipment and skills for your characters so you can engage in battles with a wide range of challenges. So I hope you look forward to Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers on the 3DS. Now, for our Japanese audience, I very greatly appreciate the support that you've shown and the interest that you've shown for the 3DS games. I have to apologize that unfortunately I won't be able to bring my upcoming games to the Wii U and 3DS. The reason being is that I do not own or run a Japanese company or any subsidiary. So unfortunately, I'm unable to bring my games to the eShop in Japan. However, I will work hard to include the Japanese language option in the upcoming games so you can select the game to have Japanese text. I hope that you'll find some way to be able to enjoy these games, and if there are any Japanese-speaking people watching this video, I would appreciate it if you helped me communicate this message to other Japanese players around the world. Thank you very much for supporting Silver Falls. So I just wanted to share with you that as of May 23 this year, it will no longer be possible to add credit card funds to your eShop account. I believe this applies to North America. And as of August 29, it will no longer be possible to use the Nintendo eShop card to add funds. So if you do want to pick up these titles, it will be important that you add funds to your account before August 29 of this year. Within the next week or two, we will announce the prices for each of the Silver Falls games. I do want to keep the prices between $10 and $16, depending on the size of the game. For Inside Its Umbra, we are aiming for $25 US, and we won't have any games in our lineup that will be at that price range. That will probably be the only game that's at that price range. So I hope you look forward to the upcoming titles. Thank you very much for watching and for supporting Silver Falls, and I hope that you enjoy the games that are coming up soon. We'll see you soon in Silver Falls. Well, hello everyone. Jarrell here. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. Welcome to Sungrand, and I just wanted to do a bit of a check-in today to let you know how development is going on our current lineup of games that are coming out this year. So a couple days ago, we announced we will be launching 7 titles across the Wii U and 3DS eShop. That's pretty exciting. A lot of these are titles that we had originally planned to bring to the 3DS and the Wii U, and we saw that it made better business sense to move them onto the Switch. But over the past week or so, after Nintendo has announced the ending of sales on the Wii U and 3DS eShop, and we saw that a lot of people were a bit bummed out about that, and that they expressed demand and excitement for games. I thought, you know what, it'd be really cool to do this for people. So we're taking the games off the Switch and we're putting them back onto the 3DS and the Wii U eShops. So before we jump into whatever it is we're talking about today with our development and our check-in, let's all take a sip of our hot apple cider and enjoy a nice, relaxing, warm beverage. Now, my tip to you is to take maybe half a teaspoon of cinnamon sugar. Go ahead and drop that into your apple cider. You're going to have yourself a nice drink. Fantastic. You know, I wouldn't mind a bit of fresh lemon in there as well. I think that'd be very nice. So, thank you to everyone for your support and for expressing your excitement for the games. This is an insane undertaking. It's huge. It's a huge amount of work. Getting White Inside Its Umbra finished and submitted to Nintendo before the cutoff period for when they stop accepting new games, that was going to be a huge undertaking. But I saw an opportunity to bring some excitement and positivity to people, so I thought, you know what, I'll get these other games done as well. So now my life is entirely dominated by getting these games done and submitted on time. That's pretty exciting. It's filled up the rest of my year with a pretty demanding workload now, even more so than it was before, but I feel that it's worth it. The amount of excitement and enjoyment that I see people getting from the announcement, it's totally worth it. You know, people are really looking forward to it. So I'm absolutely certain it's worth it. So for me, it's a huge amount of work. The way that I'm managing that is I tend to have one main title that I focus on, which is right now it's White Inside Its Umbra, and I have smaller satellite projects that I can work on during loading times. So when I have to deploy a game build and run it on hardware, that can take a while. It can take 15 to 20 minutes for that build to load and then to install and then run on the hardware. So what I do is I have multiple workstations and I will start deploying White Inside Its Umbra to run on hardware, and then on my other workstations I'll work on the other games. So at this point, I'm not really just working on one project at a time. While I'm working on one thing, I'm able to think about and plan the other games as well. So as soon as I find an opportunity for that, I will go and get the work done on those games, whether that's creating sprite work, whether it's creating assets for the UI, the heads-up display, programming bits of the heads-up display, programming database stuff, creating the actual in-game assets and building environments, where I can find 15 to 20 minutes in between the main project, I'll go and work on that as well. Also, to sort of mix up the day and to refresh my brain, sometimes I'll just hop onto another project for an hour or two if it feels like one project is grinding way too much. And that's about it. That's what I'm working on right now. It's going well. I can feel a bit of a drag on my energy levels at the moment because I have been pushing very hard since I'd say the second week of January. I really full time went into White Inside Its Umbra, so I've been pushing very hard since then. So I am feeling a bit of a drag, but I just have to make it through until the end of submission period, and that's all it comes down to, is you just got to get the work done. So uh, people have been asking what White Inside Its Umbra is similar to. Is it similar to a Zombie U? What does it play like? So my answer is it's not similar to anything. It's very difficult to describe this game, and people say, why don't you just put it on the Switch, put it on the other consoles? It won't work on the other consoles. It's 100% designed to only work on the Wii U. It's hard to describe it without letting people play the actual game, and the testers that have played it, their reaction has been very strong, and they say, wow, there's never been a game like this. It's really cool. And the reason being is that the game doesn't treat your controller like a video game controller, and the game doesn't treat itself like a video game. White Inside Its Umbra treats your game controller and your interface, it treats it as an actual object that exists within the context of the story. So your gamepad, the game treats it as if it is a smart device that exists in Silver Falls. And it treats your Wiimote, in the context of the game, it's referred to as a satellite. And that is wirelessly connected to your gamepad. They're two devices that are paired wirelessly, and the game treats it as if they both exist in the context of the story. And so the game is designed to invite you to feel like you are there in that particular location. It never says, you know, oh, this is this button, this is that button. It treats it as if you are actually there. So there is no video game controller interface between you and the game. And that's why it can't work on other consoles, because no other console can have the gamepad and Wiimote setup. Um, People have suggested, oh, why don't you just create a smartphone app that connects it to a newer console like the Switch or whatnot. And I have thought about that. And the reason why that won't work is there's a very particular connection psychologically that we have to our smart devices. They're very mundane and normal. We understand what our got a little close there. We understand what these things are, you know. They're quite boring. We know they're a normal part of our lives. They're mundane. We know that they're a smartphone. We know exactly what they do. They're very connected to our reality. We know what they can and can't do. They're not very fun in terms of an engagement and an imagination level. There's no room left for imagination when it comes to a smart device, a smartphone. We know what that is. We're connected to it very closely. We know what it is. When it comes to the gamepad, in terms of its use as a video game controller, it has the appeal of imagination in much the way that when you hand a, a small child like a space gun or a laser gun, you know, they can run around the yard, they can pretend to be a space ranger, they can pretend to be a cowboy, and their imagination builds that world for them, and they have a connection of creativity to that item. And they think, bang, 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 pow, 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 pow. That's fun. If you were to hand a small child a real gun, that's not fun anymore. That's a real gun. And everyone around them would know that's a real gun. This isn't fun. It's not funny. You know exactly what a gun can do. You do not know exactly what a toy gun can do, because the capability of that item comes entirely down to the imagination and creativity of the person who's using it. And that is the connection that we have to the gamepad controller, is that it's designed to play into your sense of creativity and imagination to make you wonder and feel, what else can this thing do? And it invites you to try to imagine what this thing can do. If I were to create an app that works through your smartphone and that connects to the Switch, that sense of wonder and imagination can't exist. It doesn't exist because of the connection we have to our smartphones. And that's why Wii U, White Inside Its Umbra, will never, ever be ported beyond the Wii U, unless there's some future game console that has another that has another screen built into the controller in this way. It's not going to be ported. I want this to be a special game for Wii U owners. I'm a Wii U owner. Look, we all deserve a W, all right? We deserve an exclusive game that's just for us, that we can say, yeah, all right, this is our thing. No one else can have it. It's designed to show exactly what the Wii U can do. And that's why I'm passionate and excited about it. And people are saying, well, I'm going to miss out. I'm sorry about that. But I either create a game that is worse because I want to port it to other consoles, or I create a game that's as creative and as great as it can be because I've made it for a particular hardware. So in this situation, I've decided to prioritize this incredible opportunity that we're not going to have another opportunity like this to create a game like this. It's just unlikely that we'll ever get, you know, this sort of wireless second screen again. If we do in the future, hey, that's going to be very exciting, you know. But I thought what's more important now is taking the opportunity that we're not probably ever going to get again. I do have other games in development for the future, and I hope that people will be interested about those. I'm just as passionate about creating interesting experiences in those games as well, especially for the Switch. But for the Wii U, this is our special thing. Um, and now I'd like to share. The other day, was it yesterday? I posted a reveal screenshot for Silver Falls Vicarious Brothers, which will be on the Nintendo 3DS. Shazam! Yeah, this is a screenshot of the game. I'm still building the environment, so this is just a testing environment, but it shows you the presentation and the visual aesthetic of the game. So we have a fun little monster there, and we have a sort of your status window. There you have left brother and right brother. So the game is titled Vicarious Brothers. Your party consists of two brothers, left brother and right brother. So I really wanted to lean into the inspiration of the Virtual Boy. And you had the left control and the right control on the Virtual Boy. And so the idea and design behind Vicarious Brothers is I wanted to lean into that and think, okay, you control the left brother with the left D-pad and the left trigger, and then the right brother with the right D-pad and the right trigger. And the story leans into that as well. So I'm a huge RPG fan, especially JRPGs. And so in this game, it doesn't go heavy into the RPG stats, but there's equipment. You have a weapon, armor, and tools. The game is sort of like a survival horror RPG. You explore a big, sprawling, spooky mansion. There's a lot of different enemies that you'll fight with your left brother and right brother. And there's exploration. There's a lot that you can get with like ultimate weapons and skills. And the battle system works based on a sort of paper, scissor, rocks element system, except it's literally paper, scissor, rock. Certain enemies will be susceptible to either paper, scissor, or rock, and they'll be resistant to the other. And then the left brother has an affinity, so they can deal more damage with a certain element, and the right brother has um, an affinity for paper, scissor, rock as well, and he's able to deal more damage with certain elements as well. The battle system is sort of hybrid turn-based in that you have a sort of a meter that builds up if you don't take action, but you can just spam your actions and keep taking actions, but your actions will be weaker. If you let your meter build up for your character, then their resulting action will be stronger. So I hope you look forward to that. And we also posted a reveal screenshot for Silver Falls Gaiden. And so with Gaiden on the Wii U, you can play with up to 5 players, actually. You see 4 here in the screenshot. You see Holt, Annalise, Moss, and Maverick from 3 Down Stars, and they're being surrounded by enemies. I've just posed that, I just wanted to create a screenshot using the environments and the assets. So, but this is a situation that can occur in the actual game. And so with this, you'll explore a huge open world environment. You'll collect resources together, wood, stone, etc., and you'll be able to build different structures. So it's basically, actually, I'll just move this. How about that? Let's just go like that. Is that working? Cool. Fantastic. So in a way, you're sort of building your own ultimate fort clubhouse, with your friends. So I want to keep the screen clear of clutter. And so I don't really want life bars and things that are distracting visually on the screen. So the life meters and that give you your health readout and whatnot, that will stay on the gamepad. So the players, one person can have the gamepad sitting in front of them, or maybe all the players can huddle together and have the gamepad sitting on a coffee table so they can glance down and look at, see what their health is like. The only UI that appears on the TV screen in terms of gameplay is when each player brings up their own menu so that they can view their resources, their items, and their weapons, and they can sort out their inventory. But in terms of health and all that, I'd like to keep that off the screen. I think it makes it a bit more immersive, and it feels like you're out there on this cool adventure with your friends. So you have 4 players that can use Wiimote, Classic, Classic Pro, Nunchuck, the Pro controller, um, and there is an option where a 5th player can join and also use the gamepad. So you can either have 5 people playing, or you can have it what I call grandpa mode or uncle mode, and you can hand the gamepad to a grandpa or uncle, and then they can use the touch screen to help assist. So they don't necessarily have to run around, but they can still play the game and help uh, build and fight enemies and collect resources. So um, yeah, that's all I wanted to cover for the time being. I don't want to just chuck a whole bunch of information at you, but we do have a lot to share in terms of Ghoul Busters, which is going to be a Game Boy style side-scrolling action game, and then we have Guardians and Metal Exterminators, which is an RPG action dungeon crawler. And then we also have Gaiden, Deathly Delusion Destroyers, which is coming to the 3DS. So I'll like to hold off on details for that for a while. But what I can say, and I've mentioned it a couple times before, is that you play that game holding the 3DS vertically, like a book, and you use the touchscreen to play. But there will also be a secondary game included in Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS. It was a canceled concept that made it pretty far into development, and things just didn't work out with the development kit. And then we moved on to developing for the Switch. But I thought this is a pretty fun opportunity to give people something cool to celebrate the 3DS with. So I've included a scrapped game that's built hidden into Deathly Delusion Destroyers. I couldn't make it its own title because I am no longer able to register new game codes with Nintendo. So I thought I'll take whatever I can. I'm gonna jam it right up all up in there and fill that full of video game juice. So that's about it. I better get back to work. I'm finishing up creating all the extra light gun arcade shooting stages and missions for White Inside Its Umbra. And I'll be doing a bit more work on Guardians and Metal Exterminators and Vicarious Brothers today. I hope you'll check in next time. I'll talk a bit more about Undertakers, the port for the Wii U, and a bit more about Gaiden for Wii U. Thanks very much for your support. I appreciate all of you. If I haven't got to your messages, it's because I want to give you a genuine response. I don't want to just rush through and put a generic, oh, thank you. Uh, and I've just been um, focused on trying to get White Inside Its Umbra finished and submitted. So I'm just hyper focused on that. I don't want to give you a crappy, insincere response. So I'll try to get to your messages that I haven't got back to. I'll try to get that today. I think my dog wants something. I better go check on my dog. Anyway, enjoy your apple cider. Take care of yourselves. See you next time. I'm not sure the camera is picking up the screens. It can't really focus on things up close, but I just wanted to show you what Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers looks like running on the 3DS hardware. I think it looks pretty cool, and you get to play that in portrait mode. Let's go ahead and fix the exposure there. I realize I look like a bit of a ghoul. I have been working brutal hours and developing 7 video games simultaneously. So I just wanted to do a quick check-in and keep everyone in the loop. Firstly, again, I want to appreciate everyone for their support. Thank you for being excited for the upcoming Wii U and 3DS games. So I realize it sounds insane because the eShop is closing, but I just wanted to bring something really cool and exciting to everyone to celebrate the end of the eShop. It is a massive amount of work, and I'm grateful to Nintendo for collaborating with me to be able to organize getting these titles launched throughout the year. So there is a cutoff period for submitting new titles to the eShop for 3DS and Wii U. And I was able to organize a strategy with Nintendo that would let me submit these titles and then launch them a little later into the year. So I'm very grateful to Nintendo for letting me do that and bring something really special to the fans of 3DS and Wii U, because I am also a fan of the 3DS and Wii U, and I wanted to see the eShop go off on a high note and send it out with a bang. So that's what I'm very excited about. It's a huge amount of work. So I do look like a ghoul. I have minimal sleep and I'm working extremely hard on these games. I wanted to keep everyone in the loop and just do these regular updates more often because I am asking that if people are interested in picking up the games for the Wii U and 3DS, you will have to load funds into your account ahead of time, even before the games launch. And I'm asking you to do that because there is a cutoff period for when you will be able to add funds. So I think it's May 23rd is when we'll no longer be able to use credit cards to add funds, and I think that applies to North America. The other regions, I think, have already ended credit card support, at least Europe has. But you can still use eShop cards, so if you go and purchase Nintendo eShop cards, you can use that to add funds to your account, and you can connect your eShop account to your Nintendo Network ID, and you can manage funds through a web browser. So you can still add funds. You can do that until the end of August, and then once the end of August rolls around, you can no longer add any funds to your account. So if you are interested in picking up the Wii U and 3DS games that I've announced, that's 7 titles in total, you will have to load funds into your account. So I want to be fair to everyone. I'm going to make regular updates to let you know that I am working as hard as I can to get these games out to you, and I'm really pushing to make them worthwhile and something really special. So I will work on creating some trailers for each title to show you the video and gameplay, and I will be announcing the prices for each game very soon as well. So I just wanted to let you know how development is going. Things are great with White Inside Its Umbra. I'm just finishing up the last bit of programming and testing on the extra game mode, which is the light gun arcade shooter mode, which has tons of RPG elements. There's going to be a whole lot of character customizing and upgrading with these skills. You're constantly collecting and upgrading new weapons. You're working on your skill loadouts. There's a ton of playable characters that you will be able to unlock by connecting to other Silver Falls games. Coffee. There we go. That'll keep you awake. So I'm running through the story mode, which is totally finished. I'm running through that with testers just a bit more, and I will be submitting that title to Nintendo this week. So that will be going in. It's going to start the process of approval so we can get that ready to go on the eShop. And I'm very excited for people to be able to play this game. I've been able to do some really wild things that I actually, never really even thought about for a game before, but using the gamepad and Wiimote the way we are is very exciting. So I'm glad we are able to do that. So I have to get that submitted this week. That really only leaves me a couple weeks to get the rest of the 7 titles submitted and get that ball rolling with Nintendo. So I'm working extremely hard, and I will probably look like a ghoul for the rest of the videos until all these games are done. They're fully submitted, they're updated, and 100% finished and then sent to Nintendo. So I hope you look forward to that in the coming months. I know it sounds insane. People are calling me a crazy person. Maybe I am, but you know what? We're going to have a lot of fun on the eShop on the 3DS and Wii U. So thank you to everyone for being excited. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. Please stay tuned. I will announce the prices for the games so you will know how much to have loaded into your accounts. And I hope you look forward to that. Just to clarify things, Gaiden on the Wii U will be a 100% different game to Gaiden on the 3DS. So Gaiden on the Wii U is an open world exploration game with up to 5 players. That means that you can have people using the gamepad and then every single other type of controller scheme available on the Wii U. So you and the other players will be able to explore an open environments. You'll be able to collect resources and build your own custom fort. It's sort of like a build your own cool treehouse kind of thing. And then when it turns to nighttime in the game, enemies will attack you, and then you can work with your friends to survive the night, fight off the enemies, and protect your fort, just like a real camping trip with your friends. So I hope you enjoy Gaiden for the Wii U when it does launch. Undertakers for the Wii U will be a direct port of the 3DS title, and it will preserve the 8-bit late 70s video game style of the 3DS title, but there is a new multiplayer mode, which will allow up to four players to team up against the gamepad player, and the gamepad player will use the touchscreen to spawn enemies into an environment, and the gamepad player will try to strategically beat the other players who are controlling human characters. So it's asymmetrical gameplay, and I hope that people have a lot of fun with it. That will use the modern, more realistic art style that we have that matches the other titles in the Silver Falls series. So that will be in Silver Falls Undertakers, and then in Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS, which I showed just running on the 3DS hardware. That's more of just a chilled, laid-back RPG battle game. It doesn't have an RPG story or exploration or anything like that. It's all managed through a hub area in the campsite. You have a ton of different characters that you can um, strategize with, give them different skills and equipment. You go into different battles and take on different challenges, and I'm trying to make it so that every day there are new sort of randomized battle challenges that have all sorts of weird quirks and strengths and weaknesses, so you can play the game for a very long time, and there will always be something new. I mentioned before earlier in a different video that in Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS, different characters will have different skills based on the day of the week. So your team for Wednesday won't be your same team on Friday because the skills for each particular character may be different. So you'll want to experiment with a lot of different characters and see which teams will work best for different challenges. So I hope you look forward to the upcoming titles. I will announce the prices for everything soon, along with some video to show everyone what the games look like. And again, I'll be making more of these regular videos because I want to be fair to everyone, that I am asking you to load funds into your account ahead of time before the cutoff period. And that is, if you want these games, you'll have to load funds into your accounts ahead of time. So I genuinely appreciate everyone who has been showing support and showing excitement for the game. Thank you to everyone for sharing these games around. I'm going to have a tough time reaching out and marketing the game because now I'm developing 7 games simultaneously to get them all submitted within a couple weeks now. So any help that you guys can do in terms of telling other people about these games, it's going to be a huge help. I really appreciate that. And for everyone that's called me a crazy person, that I'm insane for developing and announcing these games for the Wii U and 3DS eShop, to you I would like to say, yes, yes, I am insane. I hope you all enjoy the upcoming games. Thanks very much. You take care of yourselves now. Hello, everyone. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Thanks for stopping by. Now, I just wanted to share some updates with you. I guess the title of the video kind of says it. I was going to submit Silver Falls White Inside Its Umbra to Nintendo on Friday, and as I was preparing that morning to finalize the game, Unity, which is the development software I use, it corrupted the project. It broke it, and I spent a while trying to get Unity to just open it. And Unity has a habit of certain versions of Unity are much less stable than others. This version I found out while I was using it, which I used to develop for Wii U, it has a habit of just corrupting your project. So sometimes when you close your project and then sometimes when you open it, it will actually just randomly corrupt a bunch of the files that are in your project, or it'll just delete a bunch of stuff. So I've gotten to the habit of always backing up the entire project before I open it in Unity and then before I close out of Unity. So luckily, before I had closed out of Unity, I made a backup of the entire project, so I didn't lose any progress, but I had to restore the project from the backup, so it actually ate up an entire day. So I lost the window to submit the project on Friday, which is quite irritating. I'm very annoyed by that, but I am simultaneously developing 7 titles at the moment, so I just went on ahead and worked on some other projects while Unity spent more than 24 hours restoring my project from a backup and then opening it and then rebuilding the project again, which is very annoying. But I've been working with Unity for a long time now, and for many of you that have been around since our first release on the 3DS, which is 3 Down Stars, it feels like we've all been on this really, really fun journey together, where just when you think you know anything, you know everything that could go wrong, Unity brings us a fun surprise, and hey, Unity has this whole new disaster for you to enjoy and figure out. So I think this is pretty fun. I just wanted to share it, all this with you, because it does feel like we're on this fun journey together where we get to see what sort of disaster comes up next. So we're a couple days behind on submitting Inside Its Umbra to Nintendo. So now I just have the weekend to polish up a couple more things. But unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to cut out a little bit of extra content, some extra apps that I wanted to put on the tech pad in the game, and then hopefully I can add that content in at a later date with an update, because there's a lot of stuff I really want to include. But this is not the first time that Unity corrupted this project. I've actually lost a couple of days over the course of development because Unity had corrupted the project before, and then I had to keep restoring backups. It's a very slow process. It's very unfortunate. So there are some things that I had to cut out. Right now I'm just making sure the game is as polished as it can be, and I will be submitting it at the start of the work week for Nintendo, which would be Monday coming for everyone. So that's unfortunate, but that happens with Unity. You get used to it, and I don't trust Unity ever. Now, unfortunately, I've also had a little bit more bad luck. One of my 3DS development units, the SD card slot, something broke with the spring in it this evening, and so it won't hang on to the SD card when I put that into the console. Now the SD card pops out, and I unfortunately need all my development units because I'm trying to get multiplayer implemented in Silver Falls Guide and Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS. I would really like to have multiplayer for that. And so I'm going to have to work out some sort of duct tape solution so I can get that working properly. It's a bit unfortunate, but I have been using these development units heavily over the past 3 years or so. So, you know, I would think those springs probably weren't designed to take as many inserts and ejects as I've been have been through those units. So that's unfortunate as well. So, you know what, you just gotta roll with the punches and come up with a duct tape solution. So I was hoping to get some video and image stuff to share with you, but I'm a little bit behind now because of the couple setbacks that we've had over the past couple days. For anyone that's been around the early days of Silver Falls, you might have recalled, I'm not sure if I ever dropped the name, but I did share some screenshots, and some of you who have messaged directly from time to time to chat about games, I may have mentioned something called Ruby River, which was to be an open world first person game that I wanted to put on the 3DS, and that was also in the Silver Falls series. And I scrapped it early on when I was sort of feeling out what games would be best in terms of building the story and the lore and the characters. And I thought this one has really low priority. If I get to it, it's going to be very far down the line. And so I scrapped that. Ruby River was scrapped, but I hung on to some of the framework, and I thought, well, Gaiden on the Wii U, Silver Falls Gaiden, will have a sort of building system, and that you'll be able to collect resources and build structures based on the little template pieces. You can sort of build your own fort, clubhouse sort of thing with your friends, and that's using some code that I had created for Ruby River, which was on the 3DS. And I was sort of mulling over the numbers and the amount of time that I had, and I thought, well, if it's using code that was originally created for the 3DS, and I need to finish that, why don't I just finish it on the 3DS and then port it up to the Wii U? And I thought, if I did that, I may as well just take the scrapped Ruby River concept, and I can fine-tune that and just make it into a small very chill, very relaxing, pretty cool. It could be its whole other game that's built into Gaiden, Deathly Delusion Destroyers. So technically, I'm working on 8 titles simultaneously, which is exciting. And I hope people have a lot of fun with Gaiden on the 3DS now when it comes out. So Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers will not only just be an RPG battle game, it will also be an open world exploration, survival, building game. So that's quite exciting. I don't have any video or photos to show you at the moment. I can't record video of the 3DS. I don't have a setup for that, and I can't record it as I'm developing it on the computer because it doesn't display the graphics the same that it does on the hardware. It doesn't draw the textures on the terrain, so it just looks like a solid color, so it doesn't look very good, does it? So there's that as well. And at this point, just a check-in on a personal level, I'm pushing pretty far past my physical limits now at this point. I've been pushing my work hours throughout the week, taking very little breaks. So I'm maxed out here. This is my maximum. This is 100% of 100% of my power. And I'm actually on autopilot at this point. I normally work at a very efficient level, and I was doing that for about 2 months, and I've hit a point where I'm on autopilot now. So at certain points during the day, I'll sit down with my notepad and I'll write down what needs to be done, and then I sort of just go into a trance in front of the computer because I'm at the bottom of my energy reserves here, and I kind of just go on autopilot, and then whatever my brain wants to do, I kind of think, try to remember what was on the notepad, and then just see if you can get that done. So I'm really pushing it here because I've got now only have a couple weeks to get these 7 titles submitted. So honestly, my entire body is running on Cheetos and this really cool Lifesavers candies that I found, and coffee. So the games that I'm working on now that I'm finishing, I'm not actually working on those games myself anymore. Those games are being made by Cheetos and candy and coffee. And if those games turn out a little bit weird, you'll probably know why. It's because I'm on autopilot, and the filter in my brain that normally says, this is probably a little too weird, maybe dial that back a bit, that filter's not activated anymore. That system has shut down, so I'm just making games on autopilot. So if there's real weird stuff in the upcoming games, hey, you know why. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. I'm probably just gonna have to keep shoveling candy and Cheetos down my mouth until these games are done. That seems to be the way to sustain my energy levels. So I'm normally quite careful with my diet. I think it's very important to watch your diet and have a healthy diet, have a healthy lifestyle with regular exercise at a reasonable level. Especially when you're in your 30s, you need to look after your health. But at this point, I only have a couple of weeks to get these games in. I am on track to get these games submitted on time, so don't worry. But as we've all seen the past week, there are things going on in Europe at the moment. And when I saw when that was announced, when that started happening, I didn't want to announce the prices of my titles because I know that things around the world are going to get more expensive, and so I'm waiting to see how things settle a bit, and I'm most likely going to launch my games at a bit lower price than I had originally intended, because things like fuel, gas, other things, because of the things that are going on in Europe right now, those things are going to be more expensive, and those things are much more important than video games. So I'm watching closely to see how the situation turns out, and I'll most likely be putting my games at a lower price than I originally announced and intended, particularly in the European region. I'm going to be lowering the price of the games a fair bit. Um, so thanks very much for watching. I appreciate you checking in. I've probably been rambling because again my body's just running on Cheetos and candy right now. I'm gonna get back to work and then see how far I get and try and get these games ready to submit to Nintendo. So you take care of yourself, be well, and don't eat too many Cheetos. Don't be like me. See ya. Hello for you. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Welcome to Sungrand, and I just wanted to share a little bit of one of our upcoming games with you. So I've just sorted out a video system here so I can record some gameplay, and this is gameplay of our upcoming 3DS game, which is Silver Falls Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. So I just recently announced that I'm packaging two games into one. So I've picked up uh, a canceled game that was originally in development for the 3DS, and I'm packaging that into Gaiden 3Ds. So that way people can have more fun to play since it's the end of the eShop for the 3DS and Wii U. I'm really pushing to get as much quality variety content on the console as much as I can. So this is the kind of game where you can spend a lot of time doing whatever you want. You'll be able to chop down trees, collect resources, build a bunch of your own kind of custom structures. There'll be a bunch of different or save files. You know, you can probably, I don't know, 15, 20 save files in your game. So every time you start a save file, the world will be a bit randomly generated. So the terrain itself will be the same, but the content on the terrain will be different for each save file. Uh, and what's on the recording here, it's a little bit stuttery because of the recording, but on the console itself, it's extremely smooth frame rate. I'm getting generally between 50 and 60 frames a second for the most part, and you can see how much stuff there is. And this is still quite early in development in terms of the design of the level, but I'm just stress testing how densely populated I can make the game with trees and bushes. I'll be testing grass and whatnot. But on the hardware itself, it's extremely smooth. But on the video, it's not as smooth. Uh, but you'll see when the game does launch, it's extremely smooth. So this is Ruby River, which is packaged into Gaiden 3Ds. The reason why I've decided to revive this is because I was using a lot of the framework that I built for Ruby River. I always intended to use that in future games as well. So it was sort of like a stepping stone for upcoming titles that I had planned. Um, I'm just walking around in circles here. I don't really have anywhere to go. And I was using that framework for Gaiden on the Wii U, and I thought, well, if I'm uh, very efficient with my planning and my timing, then whatever I create on the Wii U, I can backport that onto the 3DS, and I can revive one of the canceled titles. So we're no longer able to register new game codes with Nintendo, so we can't ask them to create new games. So I thought, well, I'll package this game into Gaiden 3Ds, and then just have it be a free bonus game. And I think that's something that people will enjoy and have fun with. So I've just brought up a template here, and it sort of helps you see where you're going to place something. And if there's something in the way you won't be able to place that, you can rotate this guide here. And so let's see here. Maybe I'll do that. I'll rotate this. This is a placeholder wall. In the final version, it will be different. But that's just to help me sort of get a feel for what's going on here. There you go. Let's see here. There you go. And so the game for Gaiden 3Ds, it will be similar now to Gaiden on the Wii U, and that there will be a day-night cycle. Uh, and so during the day, you'll want to, never mind that it's floating, I was just adjusting some things and testing some things. So during the day, you'll want to run around, collect resources. You'll want to get food, get wood and stone and whatever you can find, try and hunt animals. And during the night, you'll be attacked by creatures and monsters. So hopefully you'll have a nice fort that you can climb up into and then sort of wait out the night until it becomes safe again. So this will not have multiplayer. This will be a single player game, but Gaiden on the Wii U will be 5 players. You'll get to work together with 5 people, and that'll be top down. You'll see your character. It won't be a first person game on the Wii U. So you can sort of see that it will be very detailed. There will be a, a, a lot of detail in this world. So I'm stress testing it right now before I finalize the systems that allow the game to, when you start your save file, it'll dynamically populate the world with trees, grass, bushes, and what have you. So yeah, I just wanted to check in with you guys. It's getting to the point where I really need to get these games submitted. So I'm running very low on time at this point. And my energy levels are they've bottomed out. I've pushed really hard to get these titles ready. They're all really close to being ready to submit. But I can only eat so many Doritos and eat so much candy, and I can only drink so much coffee to where I get to the end of the night, and it's I just have to clock out. So this area is 2 square kilometers. It's quite large, so you can collect resources. You can build your fort, wherever you want to put it. It's a pretty huge area. There's a couple ponds, couple lakes. There's a river over there. So you can see it's quite big. It takes a while to traverse the entire thing. And this is something that I hope people can just have a fun, chill experience with. Um, and it's sort of like create your own um, environment with your fort and whatnot. So there you go. There was a bit of an issue that I found last night. Where last year was just exhausting for me in terms of development, and it looks like I forgot to uh, hit send on a request to Nintendo for Ghoulbusters. So I received the game code uh, for Ghoulbusters for North America, and that means that I've registered the game with Nintendo and I have the all green light to develop and publish that game in North America. I was exhausted. I must have not sent the email through to Europe. And so I checked my files last night. Turns out I didn't have the game code for Europe, which is a little bit of an issue because the deadline um, for registering games has passed. You can no longer register more games, new game codes with Nintendo. So I sent them an email and I said, I've got a canceled, I explained the situation. I said, I've got a game code for a canceled project that I won't be using. Can I take that game code? Can we just rename it? And I explained, I have the game code for North America, but not Europe. And I explained the situation with the 7 titles. Um, and I was very worried because I didn't think they would get back to me, and I fully expected they would just say, hey, it's a bit late in the day, and our policy was we're no longer accepting these codes. So I haven't fully implemented the underwater yet. So the camera is supposed to show underwater effects. That'll be, of course, finalized when the time comes. And Nintendo got back to me within a couple hours, and they said, send us the details, and then we'll organize it. And I've been seeing, some negativity from people online, like saying, oh, Nintendo doesn't want uh, developers doing this. Oh, they're picking on their indie developers. But for this entire process, starting with Wii U and working after I announced the 7 titles total, it looks a bit funny on the screen, doesn't it? They've been working pretty pretty close with me. They've been extremely supportive on these games, and the fact that they got back to me so quickly and they said we'll organize the game code, they uh, shows that they, through my dealings with them regarding the 7 games, and they've allowed me to get these 7 games out despite the eShop announcement. Um, it's pretty heartening and it's exciting, and it tells me that they do really want to get these games to the players, because it's extra, work for them after they've already sort of said, um, we're not issuing any more game codes. So the fact that they fixed that up and organized that for us, to me, it tells me that they do want to get these games out to fans, and that they're going out of their way to process this stuff quickly. I'm extremely grateful to Nintendo. And I just want to reiterate, that Nintendo's not closing down the eShop to be cruel, and say, aha, that's what you get for still using the 3DS. That they're not saying that at all. It's what, 11, 12, going on 12 years old. Um, it's just how these things work. But the fact that they've been working so closely with me on getting these games ready to send out to people that's a sign of appreciation for the fans, because I explained to them the reason why I'm pushing so hard to get these games in, and that's when they started working and communicating quite closely with me, and they really are, putting in the effort and time to help me get these games organized. And that's partly because I assured them, look, I've got a couple weeks, but I think I can get these 7 games in, and I'm certain people will really enjoy it. And they took me at my word, and they said, okay, sure, if you can do it, let's do it then. Uh, and oh man, I'm really running low on my energy reserves here, but I absolutely will get these games. I will get all 7 submitted before the end of the month, and then over the next few weeks, I will finalize and finish each of them, and then make sure I get in all the content that each game needs, and then prepare them for launch. So White Inside Its Umbra, again, I'm just fine tuning some last minute things. I'm doing the paperwork and I'm getting ready to submit that. I'm really hoping I can get that 100% submitted tomorrow. It's my first time submitting a Wii U title, so there's a bit of learning curve in terms of the sort of a submission process. So I'm still going through that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and spam this. Ah, right now I have infinite resources, so I can test it, but I'll just spam this and I'll sort of show you. Um, oh, dang! I'll sort of show you. You can break those and get some resources back if you wanted. If you wanted. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. We we. Oh yes, so all the upcoming games that I've announced will run on all models. Um, this actually runs quite decently even on the old 3DS and the 2DS. It actually works quite smoothly, and I'm very happy with that. Obviously, when you put the stereoscopic mode on the old 3DS, there's a, a minor performance hit. It's not really a huge deal, but we'll see. Uh, I'll test and refine, and I'll make it as good as I can be. I don't know how many of these have I made, so I'm going to turn back. Okay, get rid of the guide, so you can see I'm looking at all the stuff that I've created. Uh, I've worked really hard to stress test this and design it so where um, it'll work really well. You can build huge structures. You can build a ton of stuff. On the hardware, it's still running. It's actually smoother on the hardware than it is on So uh, yeah, you can see that's a lot that's a lot, and the game is still running smoothly. Again, the video is choppier than it runs on actual hardware. So yeah, and that's a lot of, yeah, I was just spamming it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that bit of a sneak peek at that. I probably have huge, deep, dark circles under my eyes. I haven't been getting enough sleep, but I have very little time to get these games in. So I'm just trying to get the games into a state where I can submit them, and then we're home free. So I just want to thank everyone again for your support. I want to thank all of you for sending messages and letting me know that you're looking forward to these games. I'm really looking forward to getting these games out to you, and then we can have a chat about them. And when this is our way to celebrate the 3DS and the Wii U. So for all of us that still like using these consoles, I'm trying to make these games in a way to where you can play them for a long time and still enjoy them. Uh, this is our way to celebrate that. And look, we don't have to be bummed out about the 3DS and the Wii U eShop. Nintendo's giving us this chance to add these games last minute, and it's our way to view things in a positive light, to celebrate it. So I just want to thank everyone for um, letting me know that you're looking forward to it, and for being so supportive, and for showing me that you trust me to make these games uh, to be good quality and enjoyable. Because a lot of people, they're telling me that, can you please tell me the price so I can preload the money into my account. So the fact that people haven't even seen much of the games yet and they trust me to make something that's worthwhile, I really appreciate that. I want to do my absolute best to make games that are really worthwhile for all of you. Um, and because of what's going on in Europe, I don't want to announce the prices yet. Again, I sort of mentioned it in the other video, but food and gas is going to be a bit more expensive around the world for a while. So I want to sell these games a bit cheaper than what I was planning and what I had sort of announced to some people before. I was aiming for 25 USD, 22 euros for White Inside Its Umbra, and the other games were sort of between 10 and $16. Um, and I'm just keeping an eye on the situation again. Um, uh, I'm going to be selling the games noticeably, substantially cheaper in Europe than I had originally planned. Uh, and I'm just going to see where sort of the world economy is when the games are getting close to launch. And I do understand and respect that everyone has to load money into their accounts ahead of time, and time is sort of running out on that. But I appreciate all of you for your patience and for your understanding. And I'll announce the prices officially once I feel comfortable um, doing that, and I can see where we are in the world at the moment. So everyone, please be safe. Please be, um, yeah, careful. Take care of yourselves. Be good. Um, I'm rambling now. I've been working very hard all week. I'm probably gonna get back to work and do a little bit more. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Hello, everyone. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Welcome to Sungrand. And today we are going to take our first in-depth look at our upcoming game, Guardians and Metal Exterminators, for the Nintendo 3DS. This game will be compatible with all models of the 3DS and 2DS, and I've put in a lot of effort to make sure that it will work on all models, and that is as a result of a lot of feedback and fan requests. There are people who enjoy 3 down stars, and there are people who said that they really wanted to play the game but weren't able to because they don't have a new 3DS or new 2DS XL. So I wanted to make sure that people are able to play the upcoming games on any hardware. So thanks for giving feedback. So just to briefly explain Guardians and Metal Exterminators, tra la 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 la. There's quite a few playable characters. We're going to be doing a few runs as Oxa here, and the video recording is just a little bit blurry and the frame rate is a bit choppier. But on the hardware, it's much better graphics and much smoother frame rate. So one of the most important things in Guardians and Metal Exterminators will be this soda machine, and it sells some weapons that are randomized every time you finish a mission and come back. There are different single-use weapons available, so there'll be weapons that you can use that break after one use, but you get to try and use them for one mission. So let's see here. I might take this throwing spear and see how well that works. So this is still very much in development. There are a few weapon graphics that I have not implemented, and it seems like I might not have implemented the graphics for that. Let's go ahead and try. Let's see here. Oh, no, I've got it there. Okay. So that's one that I have. I know there's only probably 3 or 4 weapons that I just need to drop the graphics in. I just haven't put them in yet. So it's one of those low priority tasks that I sort of leave until later in development. So this is one of our protagonists. This is Oxa, and then I'll switch over to Gold after I do a mission. So let's see here. I don't have the bottom screen recording at the moment, so there's some content that we won't be able to see. I'm just going to equip another weapon here. I've got a baseball bat, so I'll be able to do combos between my throwing spear, my cryo shield, and my baseball bat. I'll go ahead and just run and do a mission. Let me read here. Let's see. Defeat one giant enemy. Okay, let's do that. Let's see. I'm not sure what item that is there. I'm gonna pick that up and see what that is. Oh, okay. I don't want to get killed by this guy. Ouch. Okay. Oh man, this throwing spear. Okay, it's got a lot of end lag on that. I don't know what that is. I'll check that out. Okay, here we go. Ow. If I can catch this guy in a combo here. Ah, oh, dang. No. Catch him in a counterattack here. There we go. Yeah, I want to try to use my throwing spear in the middle of a combo. Oh, cool. All right, so I got my mission complete. Oh, I wasn't supposed to use pickup weapons, so I don't get the bonus reward because I ended up using pickup weapons there. So as a reward, I got a flamethrower with an ability attached, and the ability is scavenger. So I got some experience points, and I got some moose tokens. Fantastic. And let's see what happens here. Let's see here. I want to change that out. So I was using my baseball bat. I've got a flamethrower. Let's go ahead and uh, let's see if that one's going to work uh, properly or if the graphics still need formatting. All right. So I have, all right, I'll take a torch with me. I'm at the vending machine. There's some items here. Okay, so I've got a torch and I'm going to purchase the daily skill soda. Actually, I think I'll save my money. I don't want to spend all of it right now. And let's see here. Actually, uh, I'll put that item back. I'll switch to a baseball bat. I'll switch to gold. How about that? We'll do a mission as gold. And the it is loading much slower. The performance is a little bit worse as the video recording takes a bit of processing, so it's not going to be quite as smooth. Oh, right, so I haven't finished implementing his default weapon, so I just needed to implement the graphics on that. So I think for now he just throws dynamite. You know what? Since we're recording some video of a product in development, that'll be fun. Let's just go ahead and chuck that chuck that in there. All right. Defeat 40 enemies. Oh, this is going to be a long mission. All right, here we go. Let's chuck some dynamite everywhere. Actually, it'll probably make it easy. Oh, cool. Yay, my flamethrower works. All right. Take that. Ah, get him with my torch. All right, so this weapon, I haven't put the fire effect on it. So I wanted to make it to where the character doesn't walk while using that weapon, but it looks like just need to make a few adjustments so that he doesn't move during that animation because it's a little bit funny that he's sliding forward. Oh no, I'm don't have enough health. I'm getting killed here. Let's see, what does my shield attack do? I'll just shield that. Oh, he's borrowing Oxa's shield attack for the time being. So you're not supposed to be able to walk while doing that. Oh, dang, couldn't shield in time. All right. No, if I get hit one more time, I'm out of health here. So that's the mission failure. Take that, take that. So Gold's default weapon is supposed to be an electro blaster, uh, but I haven't put the graphics in for that yet, so I didn't load it in. So that's something I'll be doing tomorrow. Usually save small cosmetic things like that for pretty late in development while I do the more important things first. You might recognize the music from Three Down Stars, but this game will have its own soundtrack, so I'm just borrowing some music for the time being. Flamethrower doesn't have a lot of stopping power, but does have pretty decent range, so I just play my cards right. Let's see, what item is this? And again, it's not normally jittery like this, but while recording, it uses a fair bit of processing power for recording. So otherwise, it's not normally like that. Oh, I died. Cool, fantastic. Back to camp. Let's have a look at some of the other characters that we have as well. And again, normally it doesn't take this long to load. That's just part of the recording process. Let's switch to Fred. So, players who have enjoyed Galaxy Bound Curse on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color might recognize Fred. So this will be the first look at Fred in Guardians and Metal Exterminators. So Fred, his default, his signature weapon is a pistol, right? And I haven't put the sound effects in yet because it's again just a funny cosmetic thing that's quite minor. So I again save that till the very end. Let's see, pickaxe and shotgun. Well, he's a bit of a firearms kind of guy. We'll give him a shotgun. There we go. He's got a shotgun now. All right, and you know what? Let's give him a bow. Right. So we'll combo up. He's gonna have a bow and a shotgun and a pistol, and then we'll just do a quick run, and then we'll see how that goes. Let's say my mission is to refill and start 3 generators. All right, and don't hurt rabbits. I don't know if I want to pay that much attention to it. Okay, so I've got to pick up uh, some fuel here. Let me find a generator. Cool. What item is this? Uh-oh. So again, of course, there's going to be sound effects and muzzle flash effects for the guns uh, when I get around to it. Okay. Whoop. Ah, man, not a lot of stopping power. Take that, take that. So you can just imagine, or if you'd like, I can add the sound effects in for the time being. So I'll just add them in. Bang, 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 bang. Whoosh, whoosh. Here we go. Uh, oh no, oh no, I used up, overwrote the item by picking up a different item. Actually, it's pretty nice having an all long range character like that. As long as you don't get swamped, you can sort of just pick the enemies off. Okay, I started that one. You have quite a bit of end lag, and your range at hitting is quite narrow. So if you get locked into shooting in a direction in the wrong direction, you can get easily swarmed by enemies. But Fred's pretty good with guns, so there we go. All right, let's find the next generator. Ooh, take that, yeah, gun, gun, gun. I mean, pow, pow. Adding the sound effects in for you. Ow. Okay. Oh no, yeah. The problem with Fred, is he has pretty low maximum health, so you'd want to earn some experience points and level him up a fair bit. If I get hit one more time, I'm a goner. So that's Fred's weakness is he's pretty good long range character, but he's a glass cannon. Oh, no, 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 please get away. No, they're gonna hit me here. Get away. Yeah. can see he has a pretty. Oh no! See, I got hit from behind. So that's the difficulty with long-range based characters is they have end lag, and you can focus on an enemy that's directly ahead of you, but if you can easily get hit from behind, as you can see what just happened there. So, oh, back to camp. I hit a rabbit. I'm I obviously didn't see it. Oh wait, no, I didn't hit a rabbit. Okay, so return to camp. I did get some experience points, and I got some moose tokens as well. Which so even if you fail a mission, you do get some stuff as well. Let me see what I have here. Yeah, I got some moose tokens. Let's see, a rifle, a slingshot, and a sledgehammer. There's two sledgehammers here. Let's grab one of the sledgehammers then. Okay, so there's a graphical glitch where he retains the rifle from the previous mission. So that's again just a minor cosmetic thing that I'll be fixing. It's pretty easy to fix. It's like 2 minutes of coding, so I haven't done it. You know, I tend to save things that are really easy. I tend to save them for the very end anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed a look at that. I'll just give you one more quick, fun look at this. So you can either play as the humans or you can play as enemies. So this is not something that we've shown before. This will be the reveal for it. I'll switch to, let's see, wolf. So you can play as humans or you can play as monsters. The monsters have their own set of abilities and equipment. Let's see here. And that's just a bit of a leftover glitch. He's not supposed to be able to hold an axe like that. That's just sort of a placeholder graphic. So they have all their own abilities. You get to level up each individual enemy on their own volition. You can even purchase these one-time use skills, and you can also get the daily skills for the monsters as well. So yeah, no, but I'm still in the middle of programming this, so the missions are a little bit funny. Okay, so oh, there's a vase here. Okay, broke that. Can I pick this up? Yeah. So let's see if I can. So I'm not supposed to be, because here's the funny part, right? If I use this sledgehammer, if I'm too close to it, I could actually damage myself with it. So here's the thing, the wolf is currently equipped with weapons that are meant to attack monsters, so I can't actually hit this enemy properly. But I did drop a trap, and I think I should be able to walk into that and get hurt. Yeah. So I actually just killed myself with that. So, yeah. I definitely failed that mission. There's just a little bit of programming here and there that needs to be done, but by the end of the week, this will be finished and in a state where I'll be submitting that. So again, just a minor glitch where instead of going back to the enemy camp, I end up returning to the player camp. Again, it's a few minutes of programming that I just haven't done yet. So let's see if there's any other. Let's just switch back to Oxa. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed a fun look at that while the game is in development. I always enjoy looking at games while they're in development. You get to sort of see an early look at them where things are going to be a bit different from the finished product, and I think that's a bit fun. So I thought I'd share that inside look with you before I make any more progress on that, and I put the game closer to its final uh, stages where it can where it's ready to be published. So thanks very much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed a look at that behind the scenes. So please stay tuned. I'll be announcing the prices for all of our upcoming 7 titles very soon. So please make sure that if you do want to pick these games up, please load funds into your eShop account ahead of time. And thank you very much again to everyone at Nintendo who's been so helpful in helping me get these games ready to put on the eShop so we can all celebrate the 3DS and Wii U. I'm so grateful to everyone at Nintendo that's really been helping to get these games out so that the fans have something to enjoy before the eShop closes down. So thank you so much to everyone who's been commenting and being so supportive of the games. Uh, you guys really make this all worth it, you know. So this has been a massive amount of effort getting these 7 games ready, and I really only have a couple weeks left to get them all finished up. So I'm pushing as hard as I can to get everything finished. So I'll do my best to give you guys some great games to enjoy. So thanks very much. Please take care of yourselves and stick around. I'll share as much as I can in terms of some behind the scenes stuff and some more gameplay of the upcoming games. I'll see you later. Take care of yourself. Is it recording? Okay, cool. Hi everyone, I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Welcome to Sungrand. Just wanted to show you Guardians and Metal Exterminators, the title screen. You might have noticed something fun down there at the bottom. On the bottom screen, it looks like there's two little, what sort of resemble Tiger Electronic type machines there. So to explain the title of Guardians and Metal Exterminators, there are actually two handheld games there. There's one machine called Silver Falls Guardians, and the other one is Silver Falls Metal Exterminators. And when you start this game, it actually starts out, you play the two machines, and you have to earn a high score, and it'll unlock the mode that has the more um, robust gameplay with the RPG elements and the dungeon crawling and whatnot. So it starts out as a fun little sort of like it's going to be like an LCD um, kind of a thing going on there. And so the title of Guardians and Metal Exterminators is that it's actually these two games sort of put together. It'll use the 3D screen, so it'll look like the old Tiger Electronic style game. So I just wanted to share that fun bit with you guys and do a quick check-in. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to get the games wrapped up. I haven't been able to submit White Inside Its Umbra yet. I've been trying for mm, about the past week or so, but I've been getting caught up on a couple of funny uh, uh, quirks here and there. And when I say quirks, I don't mean the cool kind like My Hero Academia. So there's been some funny quirks with the order in which the gamepad registers you touching the screen and then releasing the touch screen. And there's been weird quirks with the order in which it detects releasing, so it wasn't working correctly. Uh, in the second game mode, there's a players can drag and drop ammo onto the guns of the other players, so the gamepad player can reload the weapons for the players that are shooting at the screen. And I've just been fighting with this thing, trying to get it working, and it's just been such a struggle. And then tonight I finally got it, which means I can try to. I'm a couple days behind now, so I can try and fine tune things just a little bit and then prepare. And finally, tomorrow I can finish my documentation and finally submit White Inside Its Umbra to Nintendo. So I'll be putting a checklist up so that we can see which games have been submitted and which ones haven't, because it's down to the wire now whether or not I can get all 7 games submitted in time. It's going to be really clutch. So, um, just a personal check-in. I'm exhausted. I'm so far past my physical limits. I'm in uncharted territory now. I thought that I worked, I did. I pushed myself way past my limits when I did 3 Down Stars, and then the year following up that I was constantly working on updates. I was working on Undertakers, uh, episode Prelude, Galaxy Bound Curse, Frontier Fighters Mini. So I really, really pushed myself with those. But I've never worked on 7 video games simultaneously before, so this is so yeah, that's my personal check-in. Um, I'm past my limits right now. So I don't know what other countries might get this, but I found these at the store the other day. They're from the Haribo brand. Sour spaghetti is what they call this. This is really delicious. I found this. I've been munching on this. um, I stopped eating candy years ago, probably in my early to mid 20s, just to get a lock on my personal health. In the past week or two, I've just been shoving my face full of candy and Cheetos and Doritos, which is something I haven't done for a very long time. But you have to balance your personal health with your career, and we're on a very strict deadline. I've got 7 games to get submitted in a very short amount of time now. Time's kind of running out something, and I'm just gonna fill myself full of candy and snacks, and then that should hopefully power me up a little bit so I can get enough work done. Um, uh, what was I gonna say? I'm sort of rambling here. Uh, I'm, my uh, blood snack level is probably through the roof. So, um, a number of the games are really close to being able to be sent in to Nintendo. Ghoul Busters, that's probably got about 2 days of fine tuning and work, and then the paperwork and all that stuff. I can get that done pretty quickly. I have enough experience with 3DS, the submission process, the paperwork. The Wii U is what I'm still learning to do properly. Um, so Guardians 3DS, that still needs a fair bit of work before I can submit it. Um uh, did I did I say Guard? I meant to say Gaiden. Gaiden 3DS needs a fair bit of work. Guardians and Metal Exterminators probably a couple more days, and then that's really far along. That game's about 95% complete. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you to everyone again for your support. Thanks for messaging. I really enjoy hearing from you, especially other devs. It's always fun to chat with other developers and hear about your projects, and we can chat about the games that we like. So thank you everyone for your messaging. If I'm slack on replying to messages, I apologize, but I'm running back and forth between multiple workstations right now, and yeah, this is the hardest I've ever had to push myself on projects. I'm in what from a developer standpoint, this is it's sort of a personal sort of outlook on this. I've entered a state that I refer to as falling through, and it's not like a technical thing. I didn't learn that term in college or get it from a book or anything. But for me, um, from a development standpoint, when you are crunching through a project for so long and you're utterly exhausted and you can't work efficiently, you you enter a state that I call falling through. And falling through means that you're absolutely lost the ability to plan ahead and to work efficiently. You're not firing on all cylinders. You're hitting run on the game and you're literally just falling through it. You have no control over what you are doing, and you're just running through the game, and you're running it until you bump into something, until you bump into a problem, and then you stop the game, and then you just go and fix it one small piece at a time. Um, and in general, you would do that more efficiently. You would sit down with your documentation, and through a run, you would set out to test particular aspects, and then you would keep track of multiple things, and then you would stop testing once you've got uh, through your objectives, and then you would sit down, and you would fix the list of things. But when you are so exhausted, you can't keep track of multiple things. Even if you write it down in documentation, you're you've lost the ability to be able to remember all the stuff that you need to remember about multiple things. You're so exhausted, you just can't keep track of it. You're literally just falling through it. So you fall through until you bump into something, you fix the thing that you bump into, and then you move on to the next thing. It's a slow, miserable way to work, but when you are just stretched so thin, you're so exhausted. Um, I find that towards the end of a project, if you're not careful, you can end up in a state where you are falling through. Um, I I didn't really fall through with Undertakers because I had a lot of experience with Three Down Stars, and Undertakers was a simpler, smaller game, um, and I purposefully designed it in a way where I wouldn't end up in a position like I did with Three Down Stars, where I was asking Unity to do more than it was designed for in terms of the platform that it was put on. Um, uh, episode prelude, I did end up in a state where I was falling through because it turned out Unity for Switch was broken as well. The version that I was working on was super broken. I was waiting on Unity to roll out a new version. I couldn't wait any longer. But say, for example, Galaxy Bound Curse, I didn't fall through on that. And Frontier Fighters Mini. Those are our free games that you can go and grab right now. So unfortunately, I really didn't want to enter this falling through state with White Inside Its Umbra, but that's where I am right now. It's at a point where there's some rough edges, and I've run out of time to sand those. So right now I'm sweeping, what I call sweeping. That means I'm just sort of sweeping things under the rug and making the game acceptable. It's not ideal. I've had to cut a lot of content, but I'm running out of time, so I just have to get these games submitted. And then over the next few weeks, I will update and get the games into a state where I feel like that's where they should be. It has the content, it has the polish that it needs to have. So that's where I am. I'm exhausted right now. But I think it's important with all things in life. It doesn't matter how exasperated or how tired or how exhausted or worn out you are. You've got to maintain a positive attitude about everything, because if you're miserable, if you choose to be miserable and you choose to react miserably to what you're doing and what's happening in your life, that's going to rub off on the people around you, and you're going to make the people around you miserable, and the work that you produce will be miserable. So even though I'm absolutely totally worn out, I'm still super positive about the games. I'm feeling good, mentally. I feel really positive. I feel great about the games. Um, I'm so excited that there are people all around the world that are looking forward to the game, that are messaging me and telling me that they can't wait to play these games, that they look like they're going to be fun. And my goal is to give everyone something fun and exciting to play, and games that'll last a long time. These are going to be the last games that launch on the 3DS and Wii U. So I feel great about that. Just physically, I've pushed very hard in terms of work. I'm going to grit my teeth. I'm going to get through it. So there's no trouble there. I have a lot of experience with time management, so I'm confident all the games will be submitted. It's just a matter of how polished will they be, and how much content will be cut when I submit them. But again, like I said, over the next few weeks after I submit the games, I'll be finishing them until they have the proper amount of content and polish, and then I'll send those through to Nintendo again as well. So everyone, I hope you're having a great month. I, I suppose I'm rambling now. I have no idea what I'm saying. Uh, I suppose I should probably get a little bit of rest and then get an early start tomorrow and try to get a White Inside Its Umbra submitted tomorrow. So thanks again to everyone for your support. Um, be well, be yourself, have a great time, and we'll talk to you all again soon. We'll see you. Hi everyone, Jarrell here. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. Welcome to Sungrand. This is just a quick update to share a moment with you. I've just minutes ago finished submitting White Inside Its Umbra to Nintendo. So what that means is the game is in. It's submitted. So now the game is definitely coming to Wii U. It may take a while to get through the approval process. I may have to revise some things, but I've submitted it before the deadline, which means that the game has made it in, and it will be launching on the Wii U. And this has been an absolute. I might lose my cool professional uh, sense of calm and professionalism here for a moment. I've been working such brutal hours. I've been getting such little sleep, and so many things have been breaking left and right. I had four controllers, and then something wasn't working when I was testing. One of the players couldn't reload, and it turns out it was one of the buttons on the controller wasn't working. And then luckily I didn't have a spare, but luckily I thought I didn't have a spare, but luckily I had my limited edition um, Skyward Sword Wiimote, which I had on display, so I was able to take that off display and use that for testing. I've had 3DS, my test development 3DS unit, the SD card stopped holding. Um, the SD card, the spring won't hold the SD card in the console anymore. My touch screen on my Wii U development gamepad the touchscreen stopped working, and it's just been one thing after another. It's been so difficult getting this game just developed and made. Uh, there's been so many insane software issues. Maybe we'll all sit down together one day by a campfire and we'll talk about it and have a laugh. It's been so difficult. There's just been crazy quirks with getting Unity to actually work properly with the Wii U. Um, and it's in. I've submitted the game. I've had to cut so many corners because my time was getting eaten up with creating workarounds to make Unity to trick it into working. So I had to cut a lot of content. I had to cut so many corners, but I did organize with Nintendo. I'm submitting all the games now, and then I'll be sending in updates, which will finish the game and improve them and add in the content that I had to cut. And it's just at times it felt so impossible, but I've been getting cheered on by people at Nintendo who have been so positive, and I can tell they really want me to get these games in because they've been so supportive. They've really been so helpful. And then all of you out there, everyone that's telling me that they're looking forward to the games, they want to put the funds in their accounts so they could make sure they have the funds for when the games are ready to launch. And then for everyone that's telling other people about the games, thank you so much. Um, I'm beyond exhausted. Oh, uh, I'm not getting enough sleep, and there's still so much work I have to do. I'm stumbling over my words now because it's been an absolute slog. If you've ever got to the final boss of a game and then you beat him and you think, oh, this is pretty easy, and then the second form comes out, you use up all your items and your resources, and then you barely beat the boss's second form, and you think, oh, that was close, and then a third form pops out and you've got nothing left. That's what this feels like right now. Is this feels like a boss's third form, uh, and I'm so exhausted, but I've got to keep going. I can't give up. I mean, the thumbnail is a bit of a joke, but if I almost literally have 5 minutes to get the rest of these 6 titles submitted. It was such a challenge because this is my first Wii U submission. I wasn't familiar with the submission process, all the tools, the mastering process, totally foreign to me, and it was very difficult to track down the details to get all that stuff worked out. So it's in. At the very least now, White Inside Its Umbra is definitely going to launch on the Wii U. Uh, Tomorrow, I need to get some rest, but tomorrow I will be putting up a checklist and I'll show you which games have been and which games have not been submitted because we're down to the wire now. And I'm so exhausted at this point. There is a real risk of me not being able to get all of these 6 games submitted on time because I've never pushed myself this hard for so long before, but this is an absolute deadline. If these games are not in before the deadline, we're not going to have them. And I did promise these games to everyone. And I'm only making these games and I'm only pushing so hard because people asked. A lot of people asked for these games. Ever since I launched 3 Down Stars, people have been messaging and saying, oh, come on, the Wii U game, please. Oh, do another 3DS game. And I was just remembering what an absolute nightmare it is. The process of all the paperwork, and then I have to create the e-manuals for the game. It's an absolute nightmare, but it's so worth it because all of you have been so awesome and supportive, and I'm very sorry for not responding. I feel terrible for not responding to the comments, but I'm really struggling right now. When I'm at my best, I'm able to develop multiple games at a time. I can perform multiple tasks, and then I usually do my social media at the end of the night. I can't multitask right now. I don't have the energy for that. Um, so I just wanted to update you. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you. Um, Hang in there. I'll update you with what happens with the rest of the titles. Hang in there. Come on. We can do it. We can believe in ourselves. All right. Ganbarimasu. Do your best, everyone. We'll see you. Hi everyone, Drill here, just checking in. I was up until about 3:30 last night submitting White Inside Its Umbra to Nintendo, and that has been successfully submitted, so I'm quite excited about that. I've taken a few hours out of the day to do a little bit of hiking and to get some fresh air as I've just been toiling away in my office.
pretty hard since the start of the year. So I'm very excited about Inside Its Umbra. I just wanted to thank everyone again for your support, and I'll get back to your comments and direct messages as soon as I can. I've just been struggling to get all this work done, so I'll reply to you as soon as I can. So what I'm working on is just a checklist that will show everyone which games have been submitted to Nintendo. I don't have a lot of time left. The deadline is rolling up to get those games in. So if you check out our Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you'll see the list there, and I'll show with a check mark or a red X which games are submitted, which ones are not yet. So right now, as of now, it's just Inside Its Umbra. There are 6 more games that I have to get submitted, and look, before the end of the month really is what it comes down to. Tonight I will try to get Ghoul Busters for the 3DS submitted. So hopefully that'll be 2 off the list, and then that leaves the other titles as well. Ooh, excuse me, mate. Got another hiker coming through here. So yeah, thanks everyone for your support. Let me know which game you are looking forward to the most. Is it Inside Its Umbra? Is it Gaiden, Undertakers, Ghoul Busters, Vicarious Bros, Gaiden, Deathly Delusion Destroyers, or my brain's having a meltdown. I can't remember the last one off the top of my head. I've gotten 3 hours of sleep and I'm out just catching some fresh air. So I'm heading back to the office now. So thanks everyone. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon.
Hi everyone, Darrell here. Just wanted to do a quick check-in. So thanks for stopping by. I just wanted to let you know I'm working extremely hard on getting all 7 titles submitted to Nintendo. I have a few that have been submitted and I'm waiting for them to be confirmed. So the only one that has been submitted and confirmed so far is Inside Its Umbra. I've sent in Vicarious Brothers and Gaiden Deathly Destroyers. So I'm waiting for confirmation that those have been received. And tomorrow I'll be working on Guardians and Metal Exterminators, and a Gaiden on Wii U, and also Undertakers on Wii U, and hopefully I can get those in. So I have some slightly bad news, which I'll get out of the way first. So unfortunately, I've been trying to get this sorted out over the past couple of months, but it's just a bit paperwork and office stuff, and it's difficult to communicate through emails. So in Europe, we were requested to publish Ghoul Busters. Well, all of our upcoming 3DS titles, we wanted those on all 3DS models. And somewhere along the way, our games were registered to be exclusive only. And that means that Ghoul Busters and Guardians and Metal Exterminators, even though I worked really hard to make them compatible with all 3DS models, it looks like they will be new exclusives. So to everyone that was looking forward to playing Guardians and to playing Ghoul Busters on their original 3DS hardware, I'm very sorry. I apologize. I really tried really hard, but it's not. You can't really blame Nintendo. I'm the developer and publisher. It's up to me. I should have pushed harder to try and get this issue sorted, and I didn't because I am still quite a bit intimidated by Nintendo because they're a very big company. I'm a small developer, and we have a pretty good relationship, but I don't want to become unpleasant. So when it comes to issues like these, I tend to stay a little quiet, and I let things play out. I try not to be too proactive in an annoying way. And because of that, um, I wasn't able to sort out the issue of getting these codes fixed. I've been trying for a while. Um, so in Europe, um, Ghoulbusters and Metal Exterminators will be new exclusive. Um, and I'm just double checking that Metal Exterminators and Ghoulbusters will in fact be um, compatible with the original 3DS in North American regions. So to everyone that I've caused some disappointment for, I'm very sorry. It really was up to me. I should have worked harder to get it sorted out. Um, but the fact of the matter is, there's very little time left, and these things take time to sort out, and there's very little time left. Um, so, in fact, getting these games ready is extremely difficult. This is 7 titles. I'm working alone from a development standpoint and from a publishing standpoint. Um, when it comes to marketing, uh, I'm alone in that as well. And just working on one title, it's manageable by yourself, but I had 4 weeks really to get these 7 games in, and White Inside Its Umbra was a huge title. That's a massive title. I was going to make that my main product uh, for the first part of this year, and that was what I was going to focus on, and then have a second product in the end of the year. So having gone for all 7 is a major deal. Not only do I have to develop these products, in order to submit them, they have to look and feel like a complete title, and I've got them to a point where legally they're a complete title. They're just very small in that they have like the first level, and that's about it. And that allows me to submit them to Nintendo. Um, but uh, aside from that, there's a lot of business stuff that goes into it. There's a lot of registration, paperwork, boring office stuff, and then there's manual creation as well. So I have to create the manuals, and there's the mastering process and getting everything ready. So unfortunately, um, there are just some things that I couldn't sort out in time. But the good news is, so far it looks like we'll still be allowed to submit these titles, and they'll still launch in Europe on the new consoles. What I have playing on the screen here is the frame rate is a bit choppy because it's a video recording, and that uses some CPU, or a large amount of CPU. But what I'd like to show in the video here is just the increased well, the sort of the visual overhaul that is coming to Three Down Stars. So I'll just sort of zoom in here, and you can see the texture on the cabin. Uh, in order to make things stable, for the most recent updates, I had to keep cutting textures down more and more and more. But because of the work that I've been doing on our 4 other 3DS titles, I've actually been able to experiment with some different techniques as a developer and as a designer, and also uh, as a 3DS developer. And because I was able to experiment and try new techniques and do different things, I was able to optimize the game in ways that I wasn't aware of, or I wasn't able to when I was creating Three Down Stars. So the work that I've done on these upcoming 4 3DS games, I'm backporting and putting a lot of that work back into Three Down Stars, so I can improve Three Down Stars. So that means it's more stable, better frame rates, faster loading, higher quality textures, sharper visuals. I'm going, after I've got these 7 upcoming games sorted out, I'm going to manually adjust every single texture in Three Down Stars, so the game can have a higher contrast, more vibrant look on the 3DS screen. And I've just tested, parts of some areas, and I think that it it is really pleasing to look at on the screen with the adjustments that I've made. The frame rate in this area, when I'm not screen recording using up CPU, it's actually quite smooth. So I'm very happy with that. Um, you'll notice a lot, almost every single visual aspect of the game will be improved substantially. There'll be far less crashing. I can't make any promises yet, but I've been trying to do the same sort of crash testing that I was doing with earlier versions of Three Down Stars, and I haven't got the game to crash yet, but I haven't spent hours playing it because I'm busy developing. But in situations where I was able to reliably get the game to crash in previous builds of 3 down stars, this new one is now stable and it's not crashing. So again, thank you to everyone who's still playing 3 down stars. Thank you to everyone who's picked it up recently. Um, I I have a mixed relationship with 3 down stars as a developer because this game was extremely difficult to develop, and it was terrifying and frustrating because the development software uh, it became increasingly unstable throughout the game, and it put a huge amount of stress on me because I needed the game to sell to start paying my bills. And so the fact that uh, Unity became increasingly unstable the more I worked on the game. It attached a lot of negativity to the game for me. But I'm at a point where people still message me every once in a while and they'll let me know how much they enjoy 3 down stars. Um, and that's sort of changing my opinion on 3 down stars a bit. And I think over time, my feelings towards 3 down stars will probably change. Um, just knowing that people still really enjoy it, despite the fact that with updates I've had to cut back the visuals and I'd have to make things muddier and uglier. I don't want to do that. Um, but the game, it's more important that it's stable, and that's largely the reason why I'm going back and I'm going to put in a lot of effort to make. I'm going to try and make this as good looking as I can, the best looking that I can, because I know that I can employ some strategies to make it more stable. And that's 100% because people still message me and they tell me how much they really enjoy the characters, they love the story, and people have sent me screenshots of how much time they've spent on Frontier Fighters and they really enjoy it, and that makes it all worthwhile, and the negativity that I feel towards 3 down stars is really disappearing for the most part because people have really enjoyed the game, and that's great. So for everyone that's still playing it and for everyone that's just started playing it, I'm going to do this update for you. I'm going to make the visuals. I really want this to be the best looking game that it really physically can be, and I know that the next build is going to be the most stable build. um, I'll be adding a new playable character, and maybe some weapons. We'll see. And yeah, so that's where we are at right now. I am not developing right now. I'm getting the games into a state where I can submit them, and I am submitting them, and it's a lot of paperwork. But it looks like I'm getting through it all right without too many problems. So hopefully tomorrow I can get 3 more games submitted, and then before Monday I should have all the titles uh, submitted if there aren't any issues. But again, I'm waiting to see if Europe can sort of sort out this registration issue, because I would really like to get these games launched on all 3DS models. And if that's not possible, if they're not able to sort it out, it's really on me. It really was my fault for not putting in more time and effort to get it fixed. Then the games will launch as new exclusive. And again, I apologize for that. I really should have done better. Um, uh, but that means that I'll just try to make the games that are exclusive to the original. I'll try to make them even better to make up for it. So thanks for stopping by. That's just a short check-in. I hope that you are all doing well, and I hope you're all safe and healthy, and you're having a healthy diet. Don't eat so much candy. I really don't want any more candy. I kind of had enough. I mean, I kind of had enough Cheetos as well. I don't know if I could have another bag of Cheetos for a while. Uh, Thank you for stopping by. Stay healthy. I'll see you around. Cheers.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to check in very quickly. Hi everyone, I'm just going to check in very quickly here. Wow, I am really feeling that it was an insane decision to announce these 7 games for the Wii U and 3DS. Really running out of time now. It's coming down to the wire. It's a massive crunch. Right now I'm doing the paperwork to submit Guardians and Metal Exterminators. That game is actually pretty much mostly done, but I had to cut a bunch of stuff. I haven't had time to program the menus to unlock content. So that game is actually ready to sell right now, but I would like to issue I'm going to submit. I'm submitting this right now, but I'd like to submit an update to Nintendo before I start selling it. Unless you guys really just want me to sell it as soon as possible. It's 100% playable. I just had to cut a lot of playable characters and whatnot. And those are things that if I had a couple days, I could implement them. I don't have a couple days, believe it or not. Whoa, my eyes are really red in this. I'm running on imagination now. Imagination and a looming fear that the deadline is really rolling in. So I'm really sprinting to get the paperwork done to get all these games submitted. So that's where I am right now. I guess I'm looking a little bit frantic. Take care of yourselves. I've got to get back to the paperwork here and get this submitted. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Jarrell, the developer of Silver Falls. Welcome to Sungrand. This is just going to be a quick check-in to let you know how things are going with our submissions. So, it's almost 3 a.m. in the morning, and I've just finished submitting Silver Falls Undertakers for the Nintendo Wii U. So, while this should have been one of the easier submissions, it is a direct port of the 3DS title, Silver Falls Undertakers, but I created a new mode, so there are new visuals that are higher quality, that are in line with the more realistic and modern looking games in the series. And that mode is quite exciting. 4 players play as human characters, and they team up against one player who uses the gamepad, and they get to choose where to spawn enemies, and there's some strategy involved, and it's quite a fun, cool mode. But it took a little bit of time, and obviously it takes a lot of paperwork to get all these things submitted, and the manual creations and making sure you get everything right. And in a normal situation, this would have been a very easy submission, but I've been trying to prepare 7 titles while fully developing White Inside Its Umbra full-time, which is going to be the largest title of all the 7 that are launching soon. So it's an exhausting, very difficult task. And there isn't really a need for me to push so hard to try to get all 7, other than the fact that I had promised people these games. And why did I pick 7? Last year, when I suspected something like this could happen in terms of the eShop shutting down, I registered like a shotgun blast, a bunch of codes just in case an emergency. And I wasn't necessarily going to use those codes. Also, I had games that were sitting that were around 50% complete, 80% complete that I had sitting in my archives, and I was waiting to finish those and put them on the Switch when the timing was right. And I thought it would be a great way to cheer people up. People around the world were bummed out about the eShop. So I went ahead and I had 4 weeks to get all these titles in a submittable state. And for 7 games, that is a huge amount. There are only the 2 Gaiden titles are the ones that I started from scratch within the past 4 weeks. Everything else was already in development. And so getting to this point now, I have a couple days to get the rest of these in a submittable state and finished. There's a couple of complications with Guardians and Metal Exterminators. We're trying to sort out some office things, and I just need to finish some implementation of data and getting Gaiden into a state where I can send that tomorrow. So I hope all of you are looking forward to those titles. I'm doing my absolute best. And again, there's no need for me to make these 7 games other than I've promised these games to people. And I know that one game may not appeal to every player. Maybe someone doesn't like Undertakers. Maybe they don't want to play White Inside Its Umbra. And so I thought the best way I can celebrate these consoles is by creating 7 titles that are all so very different from each other. They're all different gameplay styles. They're different genres, yet they all have the same genetic tissue when it comes to the atmosphere and the style. So they're not all scary horror games, but they are set in a horror series. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to get some sleep, which is much needed, and then I'm going to submit Ghoul Busters tomorrow, and then get Gaiden for the Wii U
all finished up, implement save data, and hopefully submit that tomorrow night as well, which really hopefully only leads Guardian Metal Exterminators, and then I'll have one day to get all this stuff sorted out. All of you, take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. I'll keep you updated with how things are going. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls titles, and I'm here for the check-in. We have literally days left for me to be able to submit all these titles in. It is currently almost 3 a.m. Of course, I've been working as hard as I possibly can every second of the day since the start of the year, particularly this month after I announced all of these titles. And I just finished submitting, well, earlier today I finished some extra stuff to submit Ghoul Busters. And speaking of ghouls, you'll have to pardon me for looking like a total ghoul. I haven't had much sleep since the start of the year, and I have just been in a constant state of working furiously to get all 7 of these games done. So in case you had missed it, working on these 7 titles because I want to give people something to celebrate the 3DS and Wii U eShops with. And I know that not everyone likes every style of game, so if I create a number of games, there will be a higher likelihood that people will like one of those games, since they're all different styles, they're all different genres, they're all very different games from each other. So hopefully, if you enjoy 3DS and Wii U, you'll like one of the games that are coming to the 3DS and the Wii U. I'm not the only one putting in a lot of work and effort into this. Nintendo, I mean, obviously I can't speak that much about what's going on behind the scenes, but the team at Nintendo are putting in some real effort to help get these games processed and submitted. If it were not for Nintendo, I wouldn't be able to submit these 7 games. They're really making this possible. So I think it's pretty clear that Nintendo wants people to have these games, and they see value, and they understand that people are bummed out about the eShop closing, and I discussed with them and expressed I think this is a great way to bring some positivity to these consoles and to celebrate the eShop. And the people that have really helped me get these sorted out, I'm so grateful to everyone at Nintendo, because if it would have been very easy for Nintendo to say, oh no, it's okay, it's a lot of work, and you know the eShop is ending, you're not gonna get a big window to get sales with these games. It would have been very easy for them to say that, but instead they're really helping me bring these games to everyone. So I'm so grateful to Nintendo. I am currently preparing to send Silver Falls Gaiden. For Wii U, I'm preparing to submit that. You'll have to forgive my stuttering and stumbling at this point. I am worn down from the amount of work that I have done, but you need to keep a positive attitude, and you need to stay focused, and I have very little time to get all of this work done and submitted. So you just gotta stay positive, you gotta do the work that needs to be done. I'm grateful to everyone for showing your support, for messaging me and letting me know that you're looking forward to these games. So I will not rest tonight until Gaiden is submitted. So I can't officially say that titles that they're totally submitted until Nintendo gives me the confirmation, and I need to wait until I get both confirmation from Europe and North America before I can say anything. After all games have been submitted, then I will comfortably be able to announce the prices so that people can load funds into their accounts ahead of time. I don't want to tell people to load funds in their account and then to get to a point where something happens and I wasn't able to submit a title or two and the pricing is off. So let's wait for that. So again, the list hasn't changed. I'm still waiting on confirmation on Ghoul Busters and Undertakers. And again, I'm working on Gaiden right now as we speak. I'm doing all the paperwork, and then I'm just making sure everything's working properly. I'm quite excited with how that one's turning out. And there's one complication that's going to make things very tough with Guardians and Metal Exterminators. And obviously, I can't really discuss these sort of things in great detail, but it's going to be very tough. It's going to come down to the wire. So that's where we are at the moment. Thank you very much for stopping by to check in. I need to return to work and get these this game processed and submitted. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you're looking forward to these titles. I'm working my absolute hardest to bring you guys something that you'll be able to enjoy for a long time. These aren't going to be cheap, quick, oh look, I made a fun little game. I'm trying to make these last as long as possible, that they'll keep giving you a lot of fun for years to come with these games. So thank you very much for your support, and if you'd like to help, please just let people know about these games. I know there's some people have sort of mentioned the game online, these 7 games, but they didn't go into great details, so all they've seen is a list of 7 games, and they think that they're not very good games because all they've seen is the titles. Whereas certain places that talk about the game don't mention any details about the game, they don't show any pictures, so obviously it's going to sound like shovelware if you just rattle out 7 titles. So if you would like to help Silver Falls, it would be a huge help if you went to comment on message boards or comment on places where people are saying, oh, well, there's no details about these games, they must be shovelware. I'm sharing as much detail as I can about the games, but I don't have a lot of time to create footage and videos. That's quite time consuming if you want to do that well. And I'm absolutely furiously creating these games and submitting them, all 7 of them, simultaneously. So if you'd like to help Silver Falls, let people know out there if they're wondering what these games are about and they think they might not be good because there are no details about them, let them know what you've seen about the games and share details that I'm working my absolute hardest to bring something really special to everyone around the world. Thank you for stopping by. I might have a cup of tea, and I'm going to return to work. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around. Hi everyone, Jarrell here, just to do a quick check-in, and I want to let you know that it is almost 6 in the morning. I've pulled another all-nighter to get these games submitted, so I wish I could explain to you the amount of work that Nintendo has gone through to make it possible for me to submit these games. There have been a lot of complications with registrations and office work, and these are things that could normally take weeks to fix, but Nintendo has put in a massive amount of effort and work to make it possible for me to submit these games. So it's very clear that they really want to support Silver Falls on the eShop as a way to just get some last minute games out to people. I'm so grateful to Nintendo. Right now, I've done everything that I can to submit titles, but I can't confirm anything until they get back to me and send a response to let me know that all my paperwork and everything has been right. I've put in multiple all-nighters this week, or this month, multiple all-nighters to get all 7 of these games submitted, and I still have a lot more work to do because I want to make sure that they are just right and they are excellent when they hit the eShop so that you guys have something great to play. I'm so grateful to everyone at Nintendo who has really helped and made this possible, and I'm so emotional right now that if Chris Rock were here, I'd probably slap him in the face. So thank you to everyone for letting me know that you're looking forward to these games and that you're excited to play them, and just, thank you so much to Nintendo. Thank you to everyone for sticking by and being so supportive. I am going to get some rest, and then I will be back in my office to work on these games to get their upcoming updates all sorted out and developed. So thank you to everyone. Take care of yourselves. I'll check in again soon. Okay, everyone. Hello. Jarrell here, doing a pretty important check-in here. It's down to hours left now. We have hours left,
and there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff. There've been a lot of processing that have to go with applications, paperwork in submitting these 7 Wii U and 3DS games, and I've put in multiple all-nighters this month. It's a massive amount of work. I've pushed so far past my physical limits, and I actually physically can't do any more. So there's a pretty good chance that maybe 1 or 2 games, or 3 depending on the region, some of them might not make it. I've done absolutely everything I can. Nintendo's gone absolutely above and beyond, and they're incredible people working in the offices in Nintendo. They're absolute heroes. They've done so much to support me, to help me try to get these games in, but at the end of the day, I've hit my absolute physical limit a very long time ago. I've been pushing so far past that, and there's just so much that has to be done. I've been doing everything as fast as I can, but there's a pretty good chance that we might not be able to get all 7 of these games onto the 3DS and Wii U. So we might have to revise the list that's up there. I don't fully know which ones will get through and which ones won't, but I just wanted to thank you personally, directly. Thank you for watching all these updates. Thank you for sticking by and showing your support. As soon as I know, I'll let you know which games have made it through onto the Wii U and 3DS, and which ones I just didn't have the energy to handle and get them all in. Anyway, I have to pull another all-nighter to try to make things work out, but that's it. That's the end of the time that we have to get these games in. Okay, take care of yourself.
Well, howdy. I didn't see you there. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. So, this month I managed to submit 7 titles to Nintendo for the 3DS and Wii U eShop. And just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know how things are going. So, 4 weeks is not a lot of time to prepare these titles. I can't understate the huge amount of support and effort that Nintendo has shown to help me get these titles submitted. But at the end of the day, I had to do things a lot at the last minute, and I only had 4 weeks to do it all. So there's a decent chance that we actually might lose 1 or 2 of these titles in the process. Hey, like my dad always told me, and still tells me to this day, half a loaf of bread is better than none. So whatever titles we get, I'm going to be very happy with that. Still, I hope you guys look forward to the ones that do launch. I won't know until the next day or 2 whether or not we're going to have 1 or 2 that just slip through the cracks and we won't have all 7 of the games. But you know what? I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the ones that do launch anyway. We've had a pretty stressful few weeks. How about instead of talking about the games, we just sit and enjoy the warmth of this fire and we watch the embers die out into the night. How about that?
Hi everyone, I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games. Just wanted to quickly check in and thank everyone for showing their support for the upcoming 7 Wii U and 3DS titles. Pretty soon I'd like to make a video that explains what happened at the end of March, as I find it very interesting. We came pretty close to losing 3 of the titles that I was trying to submit, but we were able to get all 7 titles submitted, and that's very much in thanks to Nintendo and the work that they put in to help me getting these games submitted. So again, I just really want to thank everyone for commenting and sharing and talking about the upcoming games, and that really helped me stay focused and stay encouraged, especially towards the end of March where things got very difficult and quite demanding. So the hard work is not over yet. I will likely be working 130 hours a week again all through April to make sure these games are in the best shape that they can be when they launch. That's how I feel, and that's how Nintendo feels, is that we want these games to be great when they launch, so that people have a way to celebrate the eShop. So I never say that the eShop is closing. I say that the sales are ending, because that is what Nintendo has assured us, is that it's the sales that are ending. The eShop will remain online for the foreseeable future, so people can still download the games that they've purchased. They can still access the online servers and the updates. So I don't say that the eShop is ending, it's just sales that are ending. So again, I just wanted to thank everyone personally. Thank you so much for showing your support and for telling other people about these games that are coming up. I'll explain again soon what happened in March. It's very interesting. I have a newfound respect for the people that work at Nintendo, and I'm so grateful that they helped me get these games ready. So take care of yourselves. I'll check in again soon.
Alright, so let's talk about what happened. Now, if you're just joining, my name is Jarrell. I am the developer of the Silver Falls games. And in March, I announced 7 exclusive new titles for the Wii U and the 3DS. The reason I did that was because then Nintendo announced the end of sales on the Wii U and 3DS, and people all around the world were pretty bummed out, including me. So I thought, if there's anything I can do about it, if there's anything I can do to sort of cheer people up and give us all something positive to talk about and give us a positive way to view the end of the Wii U and the 3DS, then I should do it. So, as you can imagine, producing 7 games in 4 weeks is a huge amount of work. So these games were not started from scratch. Most of them were games that have been in development for a few years now, and I had them in development for the Switch. They were going to be launching over the next 2 years or so. So most of them were around 50 to 80% complete. 2 of the titles I started from scratch, based on asking what people wanted to play on the Wii U and 3DS, if they could have one more new game. So it's been an interesting journey. I started strong, and I was working 130 hours a week. That takes its toll on you after a while. When you're in your teens and your 20s, that sort of thing is easy. You can do that again and again, and you wake up and you eat a couple waffles, and then you're full of energy again. So it was getting towards the end of our due date. We had a specific date where all of our Silver Falls titles needed to be submitted, and if our games were not submitted before that deadline, then we would not be able to get those games onto the eShop. I had promised people 7 games, so I really wanted to deliver on that. Now, getting a game onto the shop is a huge, huge effort. It's a lot of work, not just on my side, but on Nintendo and on their side. And what I asked of them was a lot. It was quite demanding, what I asked of them. And there were a number of situations where given the amount of time, it really should not have been possible to get these 7 games successfully submitted. And when it came down to the wire, I worked absolutely as hard as I could throughout March. There were a number of days where I had to work through the night, so I pulled all-nighters, quickly got 4 hours of sleep, and then I got back to work again because the work needed to be done. There's a heck of a lot of paperwork. I have to send that through, I get feedback, and then I have to process the paperwork however I'm asked. So what happened at the end of March? Well, after pulling multiple all-nighters, I worn myself out due to working so hard and not getting enough sleep that by the end of the month I actually couldn't see straight. So I was still able to get work done, working on the games. I was really on autopilot, but I was still getting things done. But in terms of filling out the paperwork, preparing my files for submission and filling out the forms and sending them through to Nintendo, I was making errors. Very small errors, but there were errors that prevented the files from being submitted. And even leading up to that, there were issues with the way that some of our games were registered that prevented them from being able to be submitted. There was an issue where Ghoul Busters was going to be available in North America on all models, but in Europe it was going to be new only. So if you had an original 3DS or a 2DS, you wouldn't be able to get Ghoul Busters. And it was entirely my fault. I should have worked harder to fix that ahead of time and to make that, to resolve that issue. And I accepted that with Nintendo. I said, I accept that. I should have resolved this sooner. But at the last minute, Nintendo came in with the save, and they had fixed what needed to be fixed in an unbelievable amount of time. It should not have been possible to get all of that work processed in that amount of time. And I was floored, you know. And when I approached Nintendo with my proposal for these games, my pitch to them was, there's so much negativity around the ending of sales on the eShop that I don't personally want to see that the legacy of the 3DS and Wii U. I don't want it to see that generation end with anger and disappointment. I wanted people to end that with celebration and excitement, to say, yes, these were great consoles, check out these games that we got at the last minute. I want people to really be happy about that. You know, these are great consoles that we've all had a lot of fun with. I feel just as passionately about these consoles as you do. And obviously there's a lot of things that I can't discuss business-wise with our how we work with Nintendo, but I can't speak for them, but I felt like they agreed with how I felt, and that it would be good to get some last bit of excitement to bring some energy to the 3DS and Wii U eShop. And I don't feel like I'm imagining that, because they put in so much work. I was so exhausted by the end of the month, and I had stumbled a bit, and something happened and I couldn't get Guardians and Metal Exterminators to work on original 3DS hardware like it was meant to throughout the vast majority of development. I developed it to run on original hardware. Time had run out. I was so far beyond exhausted, and because I couldn't get it running on the 3DS hardware, we were going to lose that game. And it's a massive game. It's a big title. It's been in development for 1.5 years. And I just sort of hung my head and I said to Nintendo, I've stuffed this up. I'm sorry, you know, I promised this many games, I won't be able to do it. And I don't know how they did it, because it takes a lot of time to register these things, to process things in their system. And I can't tell you the inner workings of that. I'm not fully familiar with it, but I am familiar that this process takes a long time. And somehow they were able to make it work. Nintendo did what needed to be done so that I was still able to submit these games, not as backward compatible with the 3DS, but with new exclusive. And if it wasn't for them, they really went out of their way. We have that game now. So Nintendo effectively saved Ghoulbusters and Guardians and Metal Exterminators because there were going to be problems. So it's because of them we'll get those games. And I had accepted that I was stretching myself too thin within 4 weeks. 7 titles is a lot to promise. And I was so grateful to them. But back to the end of submission period, it came down to the minute in North America. It came down to the minute. I had made errors on my paperwork, and this is something that generally it could take weeks to sort out. Doing resubmitting, waiting to hear back, getting submissions back, and sending it back and forth, and doing the paperwork process. That could take weeks to sort out, and if you keep making errors, it just extends it more and more and more. And that I pushed myself too far physically. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I thought I was going to make a joke, but I mean, I don't think this is the sort of situation where you can joke, because this is something that means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to people around the world, so I really wanted to do my best. And I had really stuffed up on my paperwork. And there are like 3 or 4 submissions that should not have made it through the submission process on time because I had messed up, a typo here, a typo there, I got a number wrong, a number here. And what happened was the people that work in Nintendo's offices, they, not physically, but literally picked me up and carried me across the finish line so that these games could be submitted. They were so fast with messaging back to me and corresponding, and they were telling me verbatim, just fix this bit on the paperwork, this part here, just fix that really quickly and email it back and we'll process it. And it's hard to describe unless you're familiar with this process how incredible that is, because this is a process that can take weeks. And we had hours left to fix it, and it wasn't their fault, it was my fault. And they really just picked me up and carried me across the finish line. And it came down to hours in Europe as well. But the people in the office there, I can tell that they really wanted people to have these games. They really want to be able to bring some last minute excitement to the 3DS and the Wii U. Because it would have been very easy for them to say, oh, we're sorry, there was too many problems with your paperwork, we couldn't accept it. But that's not what they did. They put in so much effort to make it so I could submit all this work in time. So to everyone at Nintendo, I'm so grateful for giving me the opportunity to do that. I don't know how to thank someone for something that's that incredible, because this means that it's because of those people at Nintendo. It's because of them we're going to have these games. Anyone could have made these games. Any developer could have come in and said, I'll make these games. And there are other developers that are making last-minute games for these titles. You guys should definitely look those up and see if those are titles you're interested in, because we want to bring something special to the end of these consoles. We're passionate about these consoles just like you are. We enjoy games just the way you do. And so that's pretty much what happened. I wanted to clarify that. And I know that posts and videos got a bit frantic at the very end, because I was in a state where I was thinking, I've promised people these games, and I just couldn't physically handle getting to that very last finish point. I had gotten the games to a point where I could submit them, and I couldn't get the paperwork right because I actually couldn't see straight at the end of the month. So it really, if it wasn't for Nintendo, I wouldn't have been able to submit them. So that's where we are now. I've given them my submission schedule for this month. So every week I will be finishing a launch version of each game. So day 1 launch, the game will be 100% finished. It'll be fine-tuned, make sure everything's just right. At the end of every week this month, I'm submitting one. So we want to make sure that the games are as great as they can be. So that's where we are. I'm so grateful to everyone for showing your support, for commenting. I know I haven't been able to respond to every single comment, but do know that I am grateful for everyone showing your support, for everyone that's telling other people about the games, for everyone that's picked up the games recently, and especially for everyone that's been around for a while. You know what? I'm so grateful to you guys, and it's because of you guys that I can make these games, and I want to make these games something that's just for you guys. I'll make them as good as I can be, and I'll pack them with as much content as I can. So, hey, I'll do my best this month as well, and I'll make sure these games are as good as they can be on launch day. So, now that we've got that out of the way, why don't we just enjoy the campfire for a little bit.
Hello there, my name is Jarrell. I'm a game developer. I make the Silver Falls series. I guess a couple days ago, a couple of my videos, people started seeing them on YouTube and people weren't sure who I was or what I was doing. So, I'm an independent game developer. I'm a solo developer, which means I get to make the games that I want, which means I want to make games that you will enjoy. No one in a suit is going to tell me how to make my video game, and they're not going to tell me which video games to make. I'm making 7 video games for the Wii U and 3DS. That'll be 3 titles for the Wii U and 4 for the 3DS. And the reason I'm doing that is because when Nintendo announced the end of sales for the eShop, a lot of people around the world were bummed out, including me, and I thought if there's anything I can do to sort of cheer people up and bring in a way for us to enjoy and celebrate these consoles as opposed to just watching the eShops fade out in March of 2023, then I'd like to do that. And I'd like to thank everyone for sending me comments to let me know that they're excited and that they're feeling a bit better about the eShop ending now that we've got some new games to celebrate with. So, I'll try to do more videos in the coming days, but all of these 7 games are games with different genres, different styles, and they're all in the Silver Falls series, which means that there will be characters that cross over into other games and stories that will cross over into other games, but each game, the story takes place generally in a different decade with different characters, so there's different styles, so it doesn't feel like you're playing the same game again and again. Our first game that we'll be launching is a first-person horror game on the Wii U, and you'll use the gamepad like a smart device, and you'll use a Wiimote like a flashlight. You can use the balance board to walk around. And then we have our 3DS games coming up as well. Again, I'll try to get some videos produced soon, and then I can explain those games to you, and then we can all enjoy them and talk about them. And I'll do some more live streams as well, so people can hang out, we can chat games, and I can show you what the games are like that I'm working on. So, thanks for stopping by, and I'll do a quick check-in for anyone that's familiar with the situation. So what's happened is Nintendo has put in a lot of assistance so that I can get these games processed and submitted. So what I'm working on are the launch day versions of each game now. And within the next 6 weeks, the launch versions for all 7 of these games should be finished and totally submitted and sent through to Nintendo, and then we'll do the publishing process, and then we'll make sure that these games are as great as they can be, and I'll be supporting these games with updates and improvements and patches for the foreseeable future as long as people are still enjoying them. So thanks for stopping by, and if you're new, then welcome to Silver Falls. I'll see you around. Oh, I didn't see you there. You caught me off guard. I was just finishing up one of our games. Give me a second. And done. Okay, that's another game out of the way. Thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to do a quick developer check-in. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jarrell Dulay.
I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. We've got 7 games that are coming out this year exclusively for the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS. They're all different genres, all different styles. Hopefully one of those games is the kind that you would like to enjoy on the Wii U or the 3DS. So, just a personal check-in. I've been working extremely hard since the start of the year, and then since the start of March, I've been working to get these 7 games they're submitted. We got the initial versions in to Nintendo, so what I'm working on now is preparing the launch day versions of each of these games. I gave Nintendo my submission schedule, so I'm working very hard to make sure that I can get these games in a reasonable time frame. I'm trying to get them in and submitted with the launch day versions ready as soon as possible. But I have not rested since I've been working on these games. It is quite tiring, but I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward to getting these games out to people. And I'm just about to finish up Ghoulbusters this week, so I don't know if this is recording. Oh yeah, it looks like it's recording. I can't even tell if my camera's recording. I've had such a grueling week with development, so I am still conscious, which means that I am good enough to develop games still. Thank you very much to everyone who has been asking about the games and letting me know that you're looking forward to it. Again, I don't have a prices set in stone yet, and the reason being is I want to make sure I pack these 7 games with as much content as possible. I'm just going to fill it to the brim with as much content as I can get. I want these games to be as robust so that you can have a huge amount of fun with them, even months, even years from now when you want to revisit the games. I want there to be enough in these games to feel like, yes, this is it. This is the celebration that these consoles deserved. And that means that I have to keep working on them, which is means I have to justify working on them more, because I took a lot of these games off the Switch and I put them onto the Wii U and 3DS, and I've shuffled the entire lineup of games for the next 2 years that I had planned for the Switch, which is why I haven't set prices in stone for these games, because I'm trying to still gauge how much more time I can put into each of these games and how much content I can pack into them. I know one of the games I said is supposed to be a 2-in-1. Maybe I'm just a dreamer reaching for the stars, but I'm trying to make it a 3-in-1 now, because I want to get as much content into these games as I can. So thank you everyone for supporting. Someone asked to do a developer hangout on live stream for 3 Down Stars for Frontier Fighters. So please look forward to that. I might be doing that in the next few days if I can get some time. I know there are people that have found out about Silver Falls recently, and then they're a little bummed out that they've run out of chapters to read for Heavy Shadow. If I can find some time, I'll try and get another chapter out. But the priority is to get these games in. But I'll see what I can do. I know it sucks when you run out of episodes of a thing that you're really enjoying. So I appreciate you. Thank you for reading Heavy Shadow and for playing the games. And then I especially just want to thank everyone over the years for playing and supporting 3 Down Stars. I know that it has just not been a perfect experience because of all the crashes, and it is because of working on these 4 3DS games that I was able to develop some techniques to work with 3 Down Stars so that I have massively reduced the crashing again. I've put in a lot of testing, but I've been focusing my time on developing these new titles. So I have multiple workstations open, and then I have I'm testing 3 Down Stars after my updates. I haven't been able to get it to crash during my tests in the way that it's been crashing with the version that's out on the eShop right now, which is to say I haven't got it to crash at all. And I have been doing the thing where there's certain areas where you just keep revisiting them, and then the game crashes due to
memory fragmentation. So I'm quite confident that this update is going to be quite fantastic. I don't want to roll the update out yet because I want to make sure that there's code linker content in 3 Down Stars for all the upcoming titles, and also it's going to take time to redo all the textures in the game. Like I said, I want to go through the entire game and manually adjust the visuals and improve the visuals of every single texture in the game. That's something I could probably do within a week, but at the moment I'm focusing on getting these upcoming titles ready to go. So please look forward to the 3 Down Stars update later in the year. Again, massive improvement to the stability and improvement to the graphics. There'll be more content. I'll try to get some new outfits in there if I can get time. There will be updates coming to Undertakers on the 3DS and Episode Prelude on the Switch as well. So I'm looking forward to bringing the new titles to you, and also to improving the titles that are out right now. So I just, again, wanted to personally thank everyone who has been supporting these games, especially 3 Down Stars. It's been it's been a rough past couple years. So I'm very excited. I'm not well rested in terms of taking breaks from working. I'm just powering through, and I'm doing what needs to be done so that these games can be finalized and put out on the eShop for everyone as soon as they can possibly be ready. So I just, I'm so grateful to everyone for their support. I'm grateful to Nintendo for helping me bring these games again. If it wasn't for Nintendo helping me get these games out, we probably only have maybe 2 or 3 of them. But it's because Nintendo will have all 7. So, and that's part of the reason why I'm feeling so motivated and excited to get these games out, is because Nintendo really is on our side here. They've done everything that they can do on their side of things. They've done their part. It's up to me now to do the massive amount of work required to get these games to a finished state and get them launched with a great launch day version for each of these titles. So I'm looking forward to getting these games out. I'll make some new videos to explain what each of these games are for people that sort of miss out on details here and there if you're just finding out about the games. So please look forward to that in the upcoming days, and I need to get back to finishing the launch version for Ghoulbusters. Take care of yourself and call your parents once in a while. They're probably lonely and thinking about you. Okay, take care. Hi everyone, I'm Jarrell Dulé, the developer of the Silver Falls games. If we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for stopping by. Just wanted to do a quick developer check-in to let you know how things are going. So, tonight I've pretty much finished development on Ghoulbusters. I think the camera has mirrored that. Cool. Don't look at the bottom screen. That's got a debug level select there. Gotta make sure to take that out of the final game. So I just finished programming in between levels. You'll be able to spend bottle caps that you collect. You'll search the levels, find bottle caps. You can spend them on useful items. So say for example you're having difficulty with one of the platforming sections. The game is very challenging. It's designed to be pretty fun, really platform heavy kind of game. If you're having difficulty, you can purchase giant balloons, and then you can use those balloons, and then you can actually jump on those to help you get through some levels. So there's a bunch of different items you can do. That makes 2 of our 3DS games completed. That's Guardians and Metal Exterminators and Ghoulbusters. So I'm going to finish up Vicarious Brothers and Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. And remember, Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers is actually a 2-in-1 title. I was trying to pack in Ruby River in there for free. And I guess 7 games wasn't an insane enough challenge for me. I'm trying to package one more future title into there so we can have some extra bit of fun for the 3DS, so we can celebrate the end of the console's support and the end of sales on the eShop. So I hope you're all doing well. I'm getting a lot of messages from people that are excited about the game, so I thank you for reaching out and letting me know that you're looking forward to the games. I'm working my absolute hardest to get the games out to you as soon as I can. So people have asked what it's like developing 7 games simultaneously, and people say, "Oh, isn't that tough?" Yes, it's very tough. It's challenging in that you have to stay focused and motivated, and you have to push yourself physically very hard. Last March, I'm still recovering from the strain that put on me. I was working more than 130 hours a week at that point, and I'd been working 130 hours a week since the beginning of the year. So I pushed it in March so I could get those 7 games processed and submitted with Nintendo. I barely made it by the end of the month. Nintendo had to carry me. The last couple days I had pulled a number of all-nighters in March. So I'm still recovering from that strain that's put on me. So I haven't been able to work at full speed this month. I haven't been able to work the full hours that I normally would. So it's quite tough. It's disheartening for me because I told Nintendo I would be able to get this work done in a particular amount of time, and I just physically have still been recovering. So I'm working as hard as I can. I'm doing my best, and it's very easy when you work a workload like this to start feeling a bit down and a bit disheartened, and depressed is a strong word, but your body needs a certain amount of rest, and your mind needs a certain amount of rest. And there's a lot to the human brain. Your brain wants to feel like it can enjoy and relax and do things that you enjoy. And if you want to be an independent developer, and especially do something demanding like producing multiple games in a very short amount of time, you have to be willing to make sacrifices. And I have people that message me and ask about game development. I'm more than happy to chat. Quite a few people have been asking for advice on getting started with game development, or even some specific things with game development. And I always do my best to answer. So I hope, to those that I've answered, I hope I've been helpful to you. But if this is something you want to do, you have to sacrifice a lot. I enjoy interest clubs. I'm in a few different clubs. I'm in a couple different music clubs, and so I had to, the past 2 months, I've said to my clubs, look, I can't make it, so I haven't been going to my music clubs, and that's a shame because it's a good social outlet. It's a good chance to just hang out with like-minded people who enjoy similar hobbies. So, and that's just one of the sacrifices I've had to make. Maintaining physical health, especially muscle conditioning and body conditioning, is something that's important to me, and I've sacrificed that. I generally try to stay in very good shape so that when I do need to work a very demanding workload for an extended period, I know that my body is in shape to where I can handle working stressful workloads for an extended period. I'm in the worst shape that I've ever been physically in my whole life because I've been going months and months and months now, just only doing game development. Every waking second of my day is spent developing these games, and that's because I promised everyone 7 games. I promised Nintendo 7 games, and I'm a solo developer. So if these games, if these games are going to exist, I have a short amount of time to do it, and I'm working alone on them. And so that's what it takes. And I'm feeling like I'm building up a bit of energy back, because I've been working a slower pace this month, and so I'm feeling probably within the next week maybe I can start working a bit longer work hours, and I can start working longer again, because we are running out of time, and I'm still finishing up the final versions of the games to send to Nintendo that will be ready for launch. So White Inside Its Umbra, that's finished now, and I'm in the middle of submitting that with Nintendo. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of back and forth and whatnot. Let's see. So Ghoulbusters is finished. I will be testing over the next few days, and then fine-tuning and making sure everything is right. And then at the same time, while I'm doing that, I'm working on the development for Vicarious Brothers, Guide and Deathly Delusion Destroyers. Undertakers for Wii U only needs a little bit of work. Again, it's that secondary game mode. I just want to add a little bit of extra content to that, and Nintendo is waiting on me to send that through. Otherwise, Undertakers is totally finished, and then I need to finish Gaiden on the Wii U. So that's where we are with our update. Thank you very much for checking. I don't know why I said that so weird. I've just been listening. I listen to YouTube videos all day long. It's just fun, and then you know how everyone has the YouTube accent. Hey boys, what's up boys? It's your boy. I'm your boy. Let's all be boys. And they have that funny YouTube accent. So it's just got stuck in my head. I don't know why I said that so weird. So everyone, please take care of yourselves. And let's all look forward to celebrating 3DS and Wii U together. Please share the video and like and subscribe. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do the face reveal that everyone's been asking for. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you around next time. Be well.
Hi there. I'm Jarrell Dulay. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. I'll just do a check-in very quickly and let you know how development is going on our upcoming games. So, I wanted to talk about Ghoul Busters and what we've got going on here. So, I'm running about a week and a half behind schedule now, and the reason being is that generally, as your projects grow in scale and complexity, in Unity, Unity tends to stop functioning correctly, and to really just simplify what goes wrong with Unity, especially with 3DS, the program will no longer compile the scripts correctly, and it will no longer package assets and update your program settings correctly or fully. And what that means is, let's say you need to make an adjustment in your game, and say your character, there's something wrong with his logic when using his weapon. Make a change in the script, and then another script requires that it references the changes that you've just made. So you have updated 2 or 3 different scripts now, and a script is just sort of a chunk where you store your code, and then that has the logic for the game. So you have multiple scripts that all rely on each other. Well, once your project has a certain amount of complexity in it, you have no control over how Unity actually updates and builds and packages those scripts. So what happens very often with the 3DS platform is that Unity will then, okay, it'll update one of your scripts when it builds the project, but then it won't actually update the other 2, which means that it's just going to create all sorts of crazy glitches that don't exist when you are testing your product on your development environment on your computer. Everything's fine, everything's 100% working and logical, but Unity will just refuse to build and package and update your scripts correctly. It's actual insanity, because you don't actually know if you are doing anything wrong as the developer. Your game is just broken. And so for the past 2 weeks now, Unity has just been giving me severe issues with Ghoul Busters. For example, I've lost an entire day just trying to get Unity to build the game correctly. It's doing this. The touchscreen won't work. It absolutely should. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. I've tested on multiple units, but I also had this problem with 3 down stars as well. That issue occurs when, again, Unity will update some of your assets, but not the others. Unity won't update your settings in your application fully or correctly, and then it will just start doing the most unpredictable, ridiculous things. It's extremely discouraging to work on a project and to have this sort of aspect of the development 100% out of your hands, because now it's just a matter of you just have to keep making changes in the program. You keep randomly changing a bunch of things, and eventually Unity will just happen to refresh the way that it cached your files, and then it will build them correctly. I had this issue, and I'm still having it with 3 down stars. That's partly why 3 down stars is so glitchy. Undertakers I kept as a very small game, and that's the most reliable one. The problem with Ghoul Busters is I used a framework that wasn't designed for the 3DS. I used Corgi engine, which is a 2D platformer engine, which is designed for much stronger, much more modern hardware. And it causes severe problems on here. On new models, I've optimized it to work great. On non-new models, the framework
isn't that great, and that's something that I wanted to share with you. I'm not a huge, big organization or corporation or a big studio. It's just me. I don't have a big team, and so what I don't have with the team, I make up for with hard work and honesty and letting you guys know. The 3DS, on the new 3DS version, it's going to run great. It stays around 60 frames a second. On the older hardware, it's not great. I know that when it launches, the frame rate isn't going to be anywhere near as good as on new hardware, and I will fix that. I will fix that in update patches, but that means that I have to just tear out parts of the engine and then rebuild them from scratch. I should have built this 2D platform framework on my own. It would have been much faster, it would have been way more versatile, it would have been way stronger and way more efficient if I'd built that. Unfortunately, this project started a few years ago when I wasn't as strong of a developer. So that's where we're catching on some snags. This is the project that's really slowing things down. I'm a couple weeks behind now. So unfortunately, on launch day, the original 3DS hardware, the frame rate isn't going to be that great on Ghoulbusters. And again, I will fix that, but I have to get the other games that are lined up. I have to get the launch day versions finished and submitted to Nintendo as soon as possible. So thanks very much for understanding. Thanks for stopping by and listening. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And if you were around in the early days when I was working on 3 Down Stars and I was sharing the process with you guys and what an absolute nightmare it is, hey, here we go again. We're having fun again. These are very similar issues to what we had with 3 Down Stars, because again, Unity, it's a strong engine and it doesn't really work that great on weaker, smaller scale hardware like the 3DS. And again, I don't really have the right to complain about that. It was my decision to keep working on the 3DS. It was my decision to produce 4 brand new exclusive titles for 3DS users to enjoy and to sort of celebrate the end of the 3DS support for commercial games. So it's totally up to me. Again, I'm not complaining because I don't have that right. I chose to do these games. I could have easily just focused my development on Switch. I took these games off the Switch and put them on the 3DS. So again, this isn't me complaining. This is me just sharing the process with all of you and letting you know I'm a little bit behind schedule now because now I'm again fighting with Unity. With our other 3DS titles, I've built the frameworks entirely from scratch. I'm not relying on anything. Again, Ghoulbusters was the only one. I started that years ago and I wasn't that strong of a developer, so I did rely on an external framework, and it was not a good decision. It was a very bad decision for the 3DS. The other games are entirely from scratch. I built the frameworks from the ground up, so I know unfortunately, I know very well how to work efficiently on the 3DS platform with Unity, so those projects I'm not going to have the problems that I'm having with Ghoulbusters, so to speak. So anyway, take care of yourselves, call your parents, tell them you love them, take your dog for a walk, play Ultimate Frisbee, learn how to bake a cake. I'll see you around. Be well.
Hello, my name is Jarrell Dulay. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. If we haven't met yet, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm making this video today to give you an update on how development is going on the Silver Falls series, what's coming up with our Wii U and 3DS games, and what more for the future. So, this is just an open, honest, shooting from the hip video. I don't have a script, I don't have anything planned for this. I value being open and honest with everyone with how the process is going. At the moment, with each passing week, I'm falling farther and farther behind in terms of the release schedule. For those that were around in March when I was trying to get all 7 of these games submitted to Nintendo in time, I barely managed that. I was developing all 7 titles simultaneously. I was barely scraped by getting all those titles submitted to Nintendo really before the last hour of when I would be able to get my game submitted. And because I did that, I put a massive strain on my physical health. And I'm still paying the price for that now. I worked more than 130 hours a week. In March, I worked multiple all-nighters, and I haven't had the opportunity to rest, to recover from that. I've still been working full time on these projects, and what's happening now is I have gone past the time when I told Nintendo that I would get the launch day version submitted for each of those games. So for me, it's quite stressful, because at any minute they could say, hey, you said you were going to submit these titles, and you've gone over that time in terms of getting the launch day versions ready for these games. It's very important for me to bring out titles that are high quality, that will meet people's expectations, especially since these are supposed to be the final games for the Wii U and 3DS, and there's great pressure to deliver, particularly if people weren't around when we first launched 3 Down Stars in 2019, I wasn't really able to make money out of that title by selling on the eShop, because we received overwhelmingly negative reviews all over the internet. So unfortunately, people weren't interested in that. That was because of a very difficult development process. There were a lot of things that went into it. It took me 2 years to get the game updated based on feedback and reporting, and I do have a new update coming for 3 Down Stars that's going to largely fix the crashing, bring in even more requests and substantial improvements. And so for me, it's important that I keep working as hard as I can to keep improving my games and to make sure that they are what people want to play. But because of that, I can't risk getting games out onto the eShop that will receive a negative review like our first title did. Again, it made it extremely difficult for the next 2 years because of all the negative reviews that I received, and they advised people, don't play these games, they're no good, obviously, and reviewers sort of said, oh, no effort went into these games, when it's the exact opposite. I pour my heart and soul into these titles, but as a solo developer, there's only so much you can do when the software that you're working with has issues with it, and that just means that it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort to get a product that works the way that it should. If you had software that worked properly, development environment that worked properly, it wouldn't really be that much of an issue. So I'm doing my best. I have been trying to get Inside Its Umbra finished and submitted the entire week. Right now I'm just waiting for one last build. I just wanted to keep refining and balancing and testing more of the different elements of the game. It's a substantial title. It's huge. There's 2 different complete game modes. One is very RPG element heavy. There's a lot of equipment and skills, and there's a lot of different mechanics that go into that, and I needed to make sure that playing through that was rewarding and fun and balanced, and that there's still a challenge there as well. So that sort of thing, usually require quite a large team for that, and you need to put in an immense amount of testing, and I don't have a team, and I don't have a lot of time for testing as well. So I've done the very best that I can. It's quite late tonight. I really wanted to have Inside Its Umbra, the launch day version. I wanted to have that finished and submitted tonight, but it looks like I'm just waiting for the build to finish. I'm going to have to run through it again, and then hopefully I can just submit that in the morning. So Inside Its Umbra is ready to go. Ghoul Busters was non-approved by Nintendo because there were issues running on the original 3DS hardware. No problems running on new 3DS and new 2DS XL. There were just some stabilities on the original 3DS, which has less memory. And so I've made adjustments, and I'm going to resubmit that. So it's not a substantial issue, but it looks like Ghoul Busters will be a week or 2 delayed in terms of launch. But it looks like hopefully we should be able to get that onto the eShop soon. And really, just the point of this video is I just want to let everyone know that I appreciate all of your support. It's quite difficult when I have to spend my entire workday on these products to still manage the marketing side as well, to try to drum up interest and excitement to keep people engaged. That's a full-time job in itself as well, so I don't always have the time to do that. It's quite demanding just getting these games ready. And we also have our Kickstarter for picking up a Pokemon Mini and the development hardware. We are funded on that, and there are about 40 hours left on that if anyone would like to contribute to that. Again, I'm not asking for people to fund the development of that. Again, I handle the development costs and all of that. I handle that out of pocket. I'm not asking for people to pay for the development of that, but the Kickstarters so that I can pick up the console and the development hardware for testing and deployment. And people have asked for physical versions, cartridges. For me, that's going to be quite expensive because the hardware is quite rare, especially if I'm going to put these on cartridges. But if the game is well received, if people enjoy that, and there's interest for a physical version of the game, then that is an option that I would definitely look into, because people seem to be interested in that. So let's wait and see if people actually receive the game well and they enjoy it. So again, if anyone would like to contribute to the Kickstarter, I'll put the link in the description. We have about 40 hours left or so. Right now we're just going, we're reaching for the stretch goals. Yeah, the next stretch goal that's coming up would be to produce and launch the game this year instead of next year. So I just wanted to thank everyone who's contributed to that, who's shown interest and excitement. I'm very much looking forward to that, but I won't be working on that project until all 7 of our Wii U and 3DS titles have been launched. I will be supporting those titles long term, and that is in terms of improvements, bug fixes, balance patches, and adding new content as well. I just want to thank everyone again for all of your support, for playing Silver Falls, for sharing your excitement, for telling other people about Silver Falls, for all the websites that are talking about Silver Falls. I just want to let you know that I genuinely, personally, really appreciate that. I'm just a solo developer. I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I'm not any kind of influencer or any kind of celebrity. I'm really just a normal guy. I'm doing my job, and I'm trying to chase down my dream of becoming a game developer. And ever since I was a kid, I wanted to make games for people all around the world. And I've always understood that's not something that happens easily, and it's not something that happens quickly. So I'm working as hard as I absolutely can, and I am looking forward to bringing my next games to you all. I appreciate all of you. Thanks very much. You all take care of yourselves. I'll see you around. Hey mates, welcome to Sungrand. I'm Jarrell, the developer of the Silver Falls games, and today I've been working on Inside Its Umbra. Oh, having trouble hearing me. Just gotta remove my mask. As you can see, I've got the Opera House behind me. We got the big old coat hanger. Actually, no, I was just in the city. I actually haven't been to Sydney in about 3 or 4 years. We had that funny zombie outbreak, so I actually hadn't seen the city in a few years. And, well, Nelly, does that place stink? That smells really bad in there. I'd forgotten, or maybe the city has changed. I don't know. But I'm very excited to share the news with everyone. I was holding it upside down. The launch day version of Inside Its Umbra is finished, and that has been sent through to Nintendo, and I'm very excited about that. So I wanted to spend extra time balancing and making sure the game felt fun and rewarding to play. I spent a lot of extra time on Frontier Hunters, which is the first, or the light gun shooter RPG mode, and I just had to keep fine-tuning it and tweaking the mechanics until it felt right. And I'm very excited about that mode. So for people that have enjoyed Frontier Hunters on 3 down stars, then, oh look, I'll just go ahead and punch that through there. For people that enjoyed 3 down stars, Frontier Hunters will provide that same sort of mission-based reward earning by completing missions, and it's going to be quite challenging, obviously, at the very beginning when you don't have your skills and equipment set up, and I balance the game a bit, so it's actually very difficult in the beginning because I want to push people to try to get someone to play with them. Frontier Hunters is for multiple players. You can have up to 4 people use the Wiimote, and they can have their own weapons and skills. They can help shoot the enemies. You can also have a player on the gamepad who can help reload weapons for the other players and use support items during battle. So I made the first few missions quite difficult so that it would really urge players to ask people to help. If you had a second person with a Wiimote helping you shoot, then it would actually be much easier to play. So, and I am very excited about it. I'll just show you the upgrade screen here. So you have Owl, and say, for example, there's a limited amount of capacity, so if you want him to carry extra handgun ammunition, then he'll carry some extra handgun ammunition. You can also level up the maximum capacity. I don't think I have enough experience points for that at the moment. You can also level up his dynamite. You can make that more effective and carry more, or you can carry first aid, or you can carry throwing knives. So the gamepad player has all of their own level up mechanics and their own equipment. So I hope people will have a lot of fun with that. I've really enjoyed working on the game, despite it being very difficult to work on. And I just want to thank everyone who asked for White Inside Its Umbra and has been supporting the project since the very beginning. Like I said, this was a canceled game. I was going to leave it buried, but just over the years, people have kept asking for it, so that's why I've pushed to have the game ready to go. So I just want to let everyone know that the first 2 games that will be launching will be White Inside Its Umbra and Ghoul Busters, and they will be closely followed by Guardians and Metal Exterminators and Undertakers. So Guardians will be for the 3DS, and Undertakers will be the Wii U version. So thank you everyone for your support. We have 1 day left on the Kickstarter, and if you've supported that, even if you've just spread the word by sharing the page, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. We have 1 day left, so if we can, if it's really up to you guys if you want to reach the next stretch goal. We're not that far from it, and that stretch goal is I will produce the game this year instead of next year. But either way, we're still going to get the game, and I'm going to do my best with it. And I'll be working on that after our 7 Wii U and 3DS games launch. So if you would like to pitch in to the Kickstarter and you have not yet, I'll put the link in the description below. Well, thanks very much, everyone. I've got to catch my train. Honk, honk. I think I hear the train. Oh, I should be doing the Australian accent because of the Opera House. Struth, gold blimey, mate. Slap a ding-dong, slap a dingo's ding-dong. I got a jumperoo on my boomerang. I don't know what any of that means. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Good to see you. Take care, mate. True blue. Struth. Hi, I'm Jarrell from Sungrand. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. So, the final 7 Wii U and 3DS games are about to start launching. The first one that will launch will be Ghoul Busters for the 3DS. I'm still waiting for final confirmation, but that should launch on the 14th of this month, July. That's in about 10 days from now. Hopefully, that will be followed closely behind a few weeks later in Europe. So it will launch in North America first, Europe a couple of weeks later. That will launch at $9.99 USD and also €9.99 Euro. Now, I'm just finishing some adjustments to the international e-manual for White Inside Its Umbra, and then I will be submitting that to Nintendo today. So, you better grab your this thing, you better grab your these things, and you better grab your these things. There's going to be quite a few ways to play White Inside Its Umbra. There's going to be a huge amount of multiplayer fun with this game. Now, with Ghoul Busters, that will work on all 3DS and 2DS models. You better grab your old 2DS, your new 2DS, your grandpa's 3DS, and your mom's 3DS. All of them will work. So, I'm very excited to bring these titles to you. We'll focus on these 2 for now. I don't want to confuse you with too many titles launching because, again, I've been working on 7 games simultaneously to get some final games onto the Wii U and 3DS to celebrate the end of these consoles. Nintendo has put in a huge amount of work and effort to help me bring these games to you. And White Inside Its Umbra on the Wii U should be launching soon, and around the same time, Undertakers should launch for that as well. So again, that's a port of the 3DS game, but it has a brand new game mode with brand new graphics. It's a competitive multiplayer game, and we'll look at the pricing at that when we start setting up the digital eShop, but I will probably be looking at $7.99 for Undertakers on the Wii U. White Inside Its Umbra should be about $24.99 USD, and hopefully probably similar pricing for the Euro as well. So just on a personal note, just to let you know how I'm going behind the scenes with all the games, it's a massive amount of effort. We have 4 games that are currently submitted to Nintendo and in the pipeline. So we're waiting for the rest of those to be approved and start selling. So what I'm working on now are the 2 Gaiden games simultaneously. That will be Gaiden for the Wii U and Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS. It's an immense amount of work. I'm not able to work my full capacity in terms of earlier in the year I was working 130 hours a week. I dialed that down to 120 hours a week. At the moment, I can't handle that anymore. I tried last week to be able to get these games in quickly. I still haven't really fully recovered from March because I haven't stopped working since March, but that's the work that you have to do if you're going to try to make 7 full-sized commercial titles, not just in 1 year, but within the span of a couple months. As a solo developer, something like that is extremely challenging. So last night I felt a pretty heavy drag. I was trying to submit a White Inside Its Umbra with the revised e-manual to Nintendo last night, and I just I couldn't focus on the paperwork. Once you're exhausted, it's hard to get paperwork right, and if you screw up the paperwork, you have to do everything all over again. So I'm working to get the Gaiden games finished and submitted this month, and that leaves Vicarious Brothers, so hopefully I can have that finished sometime in the middle of next month, and then have that submitted, and then all the titles will be submitted to Nintendo. All the games will be done, and then we can all enjoy them. So I will soon post the pricing list for all of the titles. If you're interested in picking up all of the Wii U and 3DS titles, all of them together, they shouldn't cost more than 90 USD, so please load funds into your account if you are interested in picking up these games, and let other players know that they'll need to load funds into their account ahead of time. After August, you won't be able to put funds into your eShop account using eShop cards. You will have to use a Nintendo Network ID. I'll post a link in the description, but Nintendo will allow us to continue making 3DS and Wii U eShop purchases if you link your Wii U and 3DS eShop account to a Nintendo Network ID. Then you can use shared funds, the same funds that you would use with your Switch. So I'll post a link to that in the description. And I just want to personally thank everyone for their support. Please excuse me if I happen to miss your comment. I try to read and respond to everything. But again, YouTube doesn't always alert me to your comments, so unless I go back on videos and I have to scroll through everything manually and then look for new comments, I do try to do that to make sure I don't miss anyone's comments. So please excuse me if I missed that. YouTube hasn't been great with letting me know about everyone's comments being posted, but I do try to answer comments and questions. So again, thanks for your support. I'm very excited to get these games to you. Again, I've poured my heart and soul into these games, making sure they all bring something different and exciting to these consoles, so we can all enjoy the end of eShop sales on these consoles. And we can say, look, these consoles didn't go out with a whimper, they went out with a massive bang. And it's not just me that's doing the work. Nintendo has done a huge amount of work to help me bring these games to you. If it were not for Nintendo, probably only 2 of these titles would be launching. So I really, I wish I could thank them personally. But really, thank you to all of you as well for showing your support. It really means a lot to me, even when you just comment and let me know that you are looking forward to these games, because I don't really know who's out there who's going to purchase these games. I fully understand these consoles are at the end of their commercial lifespan, but I know, like everyone else, I'm going to be enjoying these consoles for years to come. I know that many people out there are still going to enjoy these consoles for years to come. We're all still playing our original Nintendo Entertainment System, our Game Boys, Game Boy Colors. There's no reason why we can't keep enjoying these consoles. So I'm hoping that by bringing these games to the Wii U and 3DS, this is a way for us to leave the scene with some positivity and some big Silver Falls energy. Again, I'm very excited. Thank you to everyone so much. I need to get back to writing the soundtracks. So here's how I'm working on the games. I have multiple workstations going, and then once I start a build on the games, I rush over to my audio workstation, and then I compose the soundtrack while I'm waiting for the game builds. Compose the soundtrack. Once the game builds are done, I deploy them to the hardware, I test, I take my notes on what needs revision and what needs fixing, work on that, do another build, get back to the soundtrack. It's quite intense, and it's pretty demanding, and I was doing that for 7 games simultaneously back in March. I can't handle that. I can handle 2 simultaneously, and that's it's a pretty massive challenge. So thank you, all of you, for your support. Again, please let everyone know if you know other people that are still using 3DS and Wii U, let them know that these games are coming out. Let them know that we will need to load funds into our accounts, because I'm not absolutely certain how long the approval process will take on these games. So I'm working as hard as I can to get them in. But we do have to wait for them to be approved. So thank you for your support. I'll see you all again very soon. Take care of yourselves. Be well.
Hello there. Thanks for checking in. My name is Jarrell Dulay. I run the Sungrand Development Studio. I make the Silver Falls games. I wanted to check in and let you know how things are going with the game series. So it's about 1:30 at night right now. I'm in the middle of submissions. Just wrangling Unity into producing my submission build, doing my paperwork. It's dragged on for a week longer than expected, but that's how things are in game development, especially in the publishing and submission process. So how things are going with development with Silver Falls is, for the past, well, especially the past few weeks, but since the beginning of the year, and especially this past month, I've been working absolutely furiously. I've gotten the new update for 3 Down Stars submitted to Nintendo. Tonight I'll have the launch day versions of Undertaker's for Wii U and White Inside Its Umbra. The launch day versions will be submitted tonight. I'm not going to rest until these are all done, all processed, the paperwork is finished, the submissions are through. So I'm working absolutely furiously. A number of people have asked how I was able to produce and develop so many titles simultaneously. So how it works is, when you work on your title and you need to run it, you need to have the software produce a build for you. That could take a while, especially with White Inside Its Umbra. That title is around 600 megabytes, thereabouts, 625, I think. I'm close to there. So when your development environment is producing a build for you, that can take a while. With White Inside Its Umbra, sometimes that can take 15 minutes, sometimes it can take 20, 30 minutes, just depends on what's happening. And so I'm roughly familiar with how long it takes for a build to be produced. I'm familiar with how much downtime there is for loading or performing certain processes, so I will work on other titles simultaneously. I know which tasks I can perform and fill in the empty spaces. So that's one tactic that I used to produce multiple titles simultaneously. I've done a massive amount of work on 3 Down Stars. Hopefully you will all in North America at least be able to see the amount of effort and time that I've put in, specifically because people have shown so much demand for 3 Down Stars updates, and I'm so grateful to everyone who has been supporting it and playing the game, especially for people who have just jumped in and they said, oh, I just found out about this and I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much, and please look forward to the updates that are coming. There's a massive amount of updates coming. White Inside Its Umbra, I'm so excited about it. I'm just, you know what, I've been working so furiously on it. I've put in a ton of work, and at the very, very final stage of testing, I was having so much fun with the Frontier Hunters mode.
And normally I generally don't really have that much fun during development because I'm just in work mode, and I'm just, I'm staring at all these tasks that need to be done. I'm staring at everything that needs to be fixed and changed and refined. So generally during development, I'm not really having fun because I'm not in fun mode. I'm in work mode. And it's when at the very last stage of development, when everything comes together and I have to test everything, and everything that needs to be done, for the most part, is out of the way. All the hard work is done in terms of development and making things work. I was having so much fun with the Frontier Hunters mode, and I'll get more to that after the game launches. I'd like to do a stream we can all hang out and play the game together. I'm absolutely furiously working on getting the Gaiden titles in. That's Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers for 3DS and Gaiden for Wii U. I'm pushing my absolute hardest to get those in. My health has taken a substantial hit from working on all these titles throughout the duration of the year. I'm not sure if I can get Vicarious Brothers finished and onto the 3DS. That's not the worst thing in the world. I can still bring that to the Switch. But I'm at a point where my health has really... it's just taken some damage. Not just my back and my shoulder, but other issues as well. And I've pushed as hard as I could on these titles. I've worked my absolute hardest. That's partly why it's such a bummer that these titles won't be able to launch in Europe, as I've made huge sacrifices for years, and especially over the past 9 months or so, I've sacrificed an immense amount. I've given up my physical health in order to work on these titles. I'm not begrudging that because people have been messaging me and letting me know that they're enjoying the games, and that's what it's all about. When the eShop does close for the 3DS and Wii U, I don't want us all to be bummed out and saying, it wasn't fair. I want us all to say, hell yeah, look, Nintendo helped us get these final games onto the consoles, and we're having so much fun with them. And it looks like people are enjoying Ghoul Busters and Metal Exterminator, so thank you all for your support. I'm very proud with those games and what's coming up as well. I do have updates coming up for those titles as well, taking feedback into account from everyone and fixing glitches here and there. I'm especially happy with the music in Inside Its Umbra. I'm very much looking forward for all of you to enjoy the music, the characters, and the story, and the frankly bizarre gameplay. I don't want to say mechanics. There's just some very quirky things that I got to do with the gamepad that, as fellow gamers, if I were to play a game that had these surprises in there, I would just have a great time. I would have so much fun with it, and that's why I'm looking forward, is that I know there are people out there just like me who really enjoy the Wii U and the gamepad. So yeah, I'm in the middle of waiting for a build to finish. I need to run one last thorough test and then do the paperwork and submit that. I don't know, it's almost 2 a.m., but I'm going to get this done tonight no matter what. So then for the next week, hopefully I can get Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers finished and submitted within a week, and then the week after that I'll have Gaiden for the Wii U submitted. I don't know if my health can handle producing Vicarious Brothers. I'm also working on Ghoul Busters for the Switch. This is due to popular demand. I've been getting messages from people all over the place, especially in Europe, people that were not able to get Ghoul Busters for the 3DS. So I'm reworking the game to work without the touchscreen, and I'm working in between the active development of the other games. When I have a spare minute, I'll have a second workstation open, and I'll be working on Ghoul Busters, porting it to the Switch. The work that I have to do in terms of replacing the touchscreen functionality, that's something that I have to focus on a little bit. I can't do that in between the other work that I do on the other games. So there are some tasks where that do demand your full attention. And people have asked if I'm bringing other Silver Falls titles to the Switch. At the moment, I don't have plans. There's been significant demand for Ghoul Busters, and that's why I've prioritized bringing that through. I'm still not entirely sure what the reception is like for Guardians and Metal Exterminators. People are letting me know that they are enjoying it, but I'm not sure what if the demand is there to bring that to the Switch. And I would rather, I really wanted to create exclusive titles for the 3DS and Wii U, so that's something exciting for those consoles. So even though people say, oh, you can make more money on the Switch, it wasn't about the money. It was about doing something exciting for 3DS and Wii U communities on all over the world. And so I really like to keep something special and exciting for those consoles, at least, you know, at least until a while after the eShop wraps up. I apologize that I won't be able to bring out something fun for Halloween. Normally I like to do something fun. I think, was it the last year or the year before that we did Galaxy Bound Curse for Halloween? I was pretty excited about that. We did the Halloween teaser demo a few years ago. Unfortunately, I'm working so furiously on these titles, I don't have the spare time to create something for Halloween. I was going to dress up for Halloween videos. I have a Sonic the Hedgehog hat somewhere. I don't know where it's gone. Maybe it's in a storage shed. Maybe it's in my attic. I'm not sure. So I don't even get to dress up as Sonic the Hedgehog for Halloween. So thanks for stopping by. Please let me know how you are enjoying Go Busters and Galaxy Bound Curse. Please check out our Discord and chat. Please excuse me that I'm not able to get back to comments very well lately on YouTube. I'm working furiously on these titles. I'm really trying to get them in. I'm not sure how much longer I have to get them to Nintendo. Well, everyone, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I enjoy hearing from all of you. Please take care, and hopefully in a couple weeks after all these titles settle, I can get back to responding to all of you more actively in the comment section. Thanks, everyone. I'll check in again soon. Be well. Oh, that's the track that's playing in the background. This is a track from Inside Its Umbra. So I look forward to sharing that game with you as soon as possible. Take care of yourselves, everyone. I'll see you around.
Hi, thanks for checking in today. My name is Jarrell from Sungrand. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. Today, I'm doing a check-in to let you know about the upcoming Silver Falls games. Specifically, I want to focus on Inside Its Umbra and Undertakers on the Wii U. Please don't mind if I grab onto my hat. It's a bit windy out here and I don't want to lose my hat. I'm out for a hike today, so I've taken a couple hours out of the office for a short break to try to catch my breath before I head back into the office and get more work done. So we're currently waiting for Inside Its Umbra and Wii U Undertakers for the Wii U to get through Nintendo's approval process, and we will be launching those as soon as possible. So if you are new to the Silver Falls series and you've never played Silver Falls before, and Inside Its Umbra will be your first game, it'll be quite interesting in that it's very different from the other games. It is a first-person exploration title, and there will be a story mode that is for the most part open world. You go anywhere, but it is you're following a trail of clues, and there is a bit of story to follow through, and there is an endpoint as well. But for the most part, you can just walk around and go wherever and do what you would like. There's also a secondary story mode that does not have objectives, but there is quite a bit of lore to that. That is called Zero Chapter in Inside Its Umbra. And in that mode, it is not during the night. There is no combat, there are no enemies, but there are various characters from all around Silver Falls. So if you've never played the series before, you will be meeting these characters for the first time, and you will learn more about the lore and the story of Silver Falls. You'll be introduced to a heap of different personalities, and it lets you into you sort of learn about events that have occurred in the past in a way that can feel a little unsettling, because there are characters who are sort of presenting parts of their past or history or story in a way that seems maybe a little like they're hiding something, and I think that's an interesting way to tell a story. As you explore more of the game and you find things for yourself and you speak to other characters, you find discrepancies in the information that you've seen, and you piece together things that may or may not have happened in the past. I think that's an interesting way to tell a story. If you have been supporting Silver Falls and playing the games
and you're familiar with 3 Down Stars, you would have seen quite a few characters frozen in time in 3 Down Stars, and you will be able to interact and speak with those characters in White Inside Its Umbra in Zero Chapter, and also in the story mode as well. You'll get to learn much more about these characters and the world that they inhabit. There is a massive mode called Frontier Hunters. You can pour dozens and dozens of hours into this mode. It is a light gun shooter similar to arcade shooters with heavy RPG elements. There's an immense amount of character progression. It is up to 5 players, so 4 players can use Wiimotes to shoot firearm weapons, and a player can use the gamepad to reload weapons for the other players and to provide support items such as health and dynamite. For Undertakers on the Wii U, someone asked about that, if it has the graphical overhaul. Undertakers for Wii U will have the same story mode that we have seen on the 3DS. So that is a port of the 3DS story mode. There is a multiplayer versus mode that is 4 versus 1, or it could be 1 versus 1, 2 versus 1, where one player uses the gamepad and the other players use controllers. And that mode uses more modern gameplay graphics. So I hope you look forward to those upcoming Wii U titles. And if you have any questions about them, please let me know. Please check in. I'm extremely excited about them. I would like to do a live stream where we can all hang out and chat, and I can play some of the Frontier Hunters mode. And if I'm not distracted by the chat, I might actually be able to complete some missions. So I hope you're all doing well. Take care, and hopefully we will see you all soon in Silver Falls.